heat today.
I don't understand why this isn't giving us
15 viewers. Good morning, sound.
I don't understand why this is not. It's not even showing the Yeti.
Did I plug it in wrong?
Because we don't even have that ability. Hang on. You just messed me up here. There we go. Now we've got it.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Good morning.
And I'm going to make this window smaller and this window bigger.
So that's my chat window?
Yeah, I don't know why it went away. YouTube, multi-stream, read only. Hang on, let me just make sure
My
that this
IT
appears.
guy is working on getting us up and running right now.
Now you've got your stream set up. And then I'll cut and paste.
Will you do it from the other computer?
I'll do it from my phone.
Okay.
I'll put it in. So you need to remember to tell the ladies that are watching in the Facebook
that they can't comment?
Well, so they've either got to be on our main Facebook page or they've got to be on YouTube. And I think you should talk about the fact that I like what we're doing with YouTube. So I think
why don't you just talk about it since you're talking about it?
So I think what we're ultimately going to do with our sew-alongs is going to be...
Good morning.
Good morning. My bedhead. And actually, that's weird that we're only seeing Nula.
We had all of them just a second ago.
Can I have somebody from YouTube just make a comment just to see if we're picking up our multi-stream comments from YouTube? But I think just to simplify things. Oh, there we go. So we've got all the comments. I think just to simplify things, my hair's getting so long.
It's so handsome.
Violet goes, I go, this is the longest my kids have never seen me with hair this long.
So short still.
I mean, it's getting long. Like, my kids have never, I've always been high and tight, but so I said something to Violet and she's like, I love it, but the back looks a little weird because it looks like you're trying to set up a comb over.
Let me see the back.
She goes, your bald spot makes the back look a little weird. So like, and I was like, well, I'll either have to
comb it over.
No, I'll either have to like grow it out to the point where I can style it or like, and it's funny because my barber knows I'm like, give me something I can style. Like,
what are you going to do?
I don't know. Let's see. I've never had a hairstyle, you know, it's always been one thing. So I think in the long run, do a mullet.
That's what it's starting to
do
look
a comb
like.
over mullet. But
I think that's grounds for divorce.
It's kind of like celibacy.
Patrick! Oh my god! Ladies, don't listen to him.
I think what we will ultimately do with our sew-alongs is just devote to YouTube as well. It's easier to manage comments. It's easier for us to Karen, that may be because I haven't put us in the sew-along group yet.
Need a hair tie. Hang on,
but we might just devote to YouTube on our sew-alongs too, and then post the links there. A ponytail.
I can't.
Marlene Dixon says. Yeah,
we'll have to vote.
All right, I'm gonna leave you guys to it.
Okay.
I will put it in the sew-along group here momentarily.
Got it. My goal today is to film in such a way that you cannot see the tornado that is my sewing room right now. I got home probably at like I want to say I made it over the pass. And what time is it? Let me look at the clock so I can manage time. Oh, it's 11. Or it's 10. It's time to go. I made it over the pass. No problem. There was a little bit of snow and wet roads. Probably like half an hour, if you're from the area, like half an hour before I got to Truckee. And so, but when I hit Truckee, it was dry all the way to Reno, and I was really stressed out. I do not like driving in weather. It, like, at this point, I've just had so many bad experiences that I'm so scared of driving in like snow. I'm scared of sliding and dying. I'm scared of that. Okay. Good morning. I'm super excited about this, but you got to know, there. I haven't stitched this out yet. So when I did Snow Happens, is that what it's called? The January table topper. I actually stitched out the whole thing beforehand just to get the lay of the land. And no need to worry anymore. Okay, I know that keeps flashing on and off. I don't know if it has to do with our connection. We have rain this morning, so I think it's going to be raining pretty heavily today. But this I haven't stitched out yet. I'm kind of just winging it. So if you've stitched it out, or if you are stitching with me and you notice me going astray, then I want you to stop me and make a comment. I'm going to be watching, because today is called Girlfriends Stitching with Girlfriends. So this isn't me showing you how to do this. This is us just doing it all together. And I do not know why it keeps flashing on and off. So I'm just going to keep watching that. Sorry about that, but we will do the best we can. So, let me get my camera in the right angle too. Let's see if that's better. If that works out better. We are going to start off with, I thought we would do the same thing we did last time, which was we started off with just the little borders. You have the there's going to be 1x10s and then 1x12s. So we're going to go ahead and hoop up in our 8x12. I'm going to be using muslin. And when I hoop up in my 8x12, and of course I grabbed the wrong one because I grabbed this one for the 6x10. I want my piece that's going to be 8x12 inches. Or not 8x12, but 12-inch strips. When I'm working in my 12-inch hoop, my 8x12, I cut 12-inch strips with a fabric. So I'd pre-organized all of this and put it in here. At least I thought I had. Let me measure this. That is, did I not? This is definitely not it. Let me just grab, I'm just going to cut a strip. You want 8x12. Is this it? Maybe I put it over here. Thought I had it beforehand. That is 8x... Now I'm sweating because I'm not on my game. Okay, here we go. I think this is my 8x12. Oh, it's bigger, but I'm just going to use this. So I'm going to go ahead and hoop up. This is going to be one hooping in my 8x12 for my little strips. And then while it's stitching there, I'll make sure I get everything else. These are the hoops I'm going to be using today. So I'm going to, and I don't know if I put this on the list, but I feel like my 6x6, which, I mean, it's not a hoop I use all the time. And if you don't have a 6x6, don't worry about it. Because if you have a 6x10, you're just going to use the top portion of your 6x10. So, but I'm going to use this to do the little corner blocks to quilt. And I think we'll do that early on too, because I didn't do that until the latter part. So some people wondered how I did my corner blocks. I'm going to use this hoop. So this is the hoop I'm going to use for the squares in the center. Last time I did it with the 5x7. This time I thought, oh, let me go ahead and do it by the 6x10. So there's options in case you don't have some of those other hoops. I'm going to use this for my inner border blocks. I'm going to use this for my outer border blocks. And we can also do the 9.5x14. We can use that hoop for the triangles. So I thought I'd kind of mix it up today. So I'm going to go ahead and take these, put them to the side. I'm going to grab my 8x12 first. And I'm just going to hoop it up with my muslin. This piece is actually a little bit big, but I don't care. I'm just going to go ahead and use that. Because I don't see my piece cut. And I actually thought, I mean, when I got home last night, I go, okay, I'm totally prepped. I did everything beforehand, but it looks like maybe I'm not completely prepped. I'm going to cut this stuff off. Yes, we made it home safely. Okay, you want to hear about the tournament? So the boys here in Reno, we don't have boys volleyball. So there is no high school team. What happened is my son loves volleyball. So he started a group in his high school during lunch. And he's really like, I just love it. Because one of the teachers came, it's Violet's Weeple teacher, came over and spoke to me about it and how, Kai started it during the pandemic, and it gave some of the kids that didn't have a place to go during lunch a place to go. And he has it really, really organized. And okay, so here we go. Here is our 8x12. And let me look at the notes. 6x10 would be nice. It's on my list. Yes, Sue Riley, get the 6x10, especially if you're doing a lot of Kimberbell. They use a lot of 6x10. But if you don't have it, you can always make it work with the other ones. And if you have bigger hoops, you can squeeze stuff into your bigger hoops. So I'm going to come over here. So they don't have a boys volleyball league here. Or it's not in the high schools. So what he created at his school... Okay, why am I not sliding on? This is really strange. Is this my... This is... Oh my God. Hang on just a second, ladies. I don't want to force it, but he is, for some reason, refusing. Let me just slide something else on. Okay, let me go ahead and... That is really... Something is wrong with my hoop. Okay, go grab some coffee. I'm going to get my repairman. Hey, Patrick. My hoops won't slide on. Like something's blocking it. Can you come check my arm? Can you please just help me? My hoops will not slide on. Technical difficulties in the AM. This is really weird. There's something like right here. I don't know if you can see that. Right here that's kind of blocking me from sliding on my hoop. For a second I thought, do I have a hoop in my collection that goes to Okay, so there's something hanging down here and I can't, like right here, and I can't slide my hoop on.
You have a clip stuck in there.
That's what that is?
Tweezers.
Okay, tweezers. Here's this. Let me grab. Kai has my tweezers.
I don't need that. I need
Kai
tweezers.
has my tweezers.
You don't have any tweezers in here? That's
here.
fine.
Oh, I have a Wonder Clip stuck in my, Patrick's gonna get it out. Can we get it out?
How in the heck?
No, I just... You know me! We'll break it. Alright, that was like operation. Okay, there we go. Hope you enjoyed your sip of coffee.
I had a 12:30 appointment.
All right, now we're good to go. I'm going to slide this on. Let's go ahead and load in our design. I'm going to grab my spreadsheet. So So with your quilting bundle, if you got the quilting bundle, there was for the borders, it says chevron border, and you're going to do the 1x10. We're going to do that twice, and then we're going to do the 1x12 twice. I just couldn't even see. It just showed the plasticky. It just showed like this little part here, and I thought that was part of my hoop that was coming down. All right, so I'm going to go in here to my... I'm already in my quilting bundle. I'll get out of here so you can see, and we can start from the beginning. So I'm going to go into my USB. I actually have I have this. I have one of these plugged into my bottom USB port. So I'm going to go into this. You have to choose the one that matches where you plugged it in. I'm going to go into quilting bundle. And we're going to do border, chevron, and squares. So let me just make sure that's right. Centers, yeah. Border, chevron, and squares. And I'm going to load the 1x10. I was hoping you'd sell the luminaire. You know, I did. This is, you know, I'm upgraded to luminaire 3, luminaire 1. And Patrick just tells me these things. When I did that one, he was just, he one day when luminaire 2 came out, he just said, bring in your luminaire 1, we're selling it. So I did sell my luminaire 1. Okay, I'm going to come over here to... let's set up our hoop size. So go to your settings, and your settings button's either here or it might be down on the bottom. Let me go ahead and touch that. I'm going to choose my frame size. That's a good habit. I want you to always do that so you know your work area. And I'm going to choose 8x12 and say okay. Now it gives me an outline of how big my work area is. And I'm going to go ahead and hit set. So I'm going to take that and move it over. So I'm going to go edit. Move, and I'm just going to move it over and up. And I will go ahead and shut my door because, as you can hear, my dogs are like barking. And did I tell you how I was watching Lori Holt do a video? And she was like, oh, sorry, that's the garage door. And I was like, oh, it's not just me. Okay, I'm going to say okay. Now, instead of hitting add, it's easier. Just hit this button to make a copy. So it's going to save you some steps. I'm going to do move. These are going to stitch out in the order in which you load them. So if I put this all the way to the right, it would stitch here, then here. So I like to load them in a row. And I can do some fine tuning once I have it all loaded in there. I'm going to say okay. I don't have a 1x12, so now was that the 1x10? It is, right? So I'm going to hit add. I want to make sure I loaded the right one. I'm in my bottom USB, my quilting bundle. Poor Patrick. It's raining here, so he's not skiing. So that was the 1x10. We're also going to add the 1x12. Can I live with you so I could have an embroidery machine? Oh my God, Karen, do you not have one? I think we have used Destiny in the store if anyone's interested. I love the Destiny. I love it. I just love it. And I'd say it's lightly used. It's got like 3 million stitches on it. So moderate, like the light end of moderate use. Okay, I'm going to say okay. Now, instead of hitting add, we're just going to make a copy. Make a copy, move. Okay, now we'll fine tune and make sure everything is spaced well. And if you ever get the message that it says change to a larger hoop, you're just going to kind of zoom in and just make sure none of these pieces are over the line. I'm just going to move them up and over, and I'm just going to look at the spacing in between. This I'll move over a little bit. I'll move this one over a little bit because it's pretty close to that one. And I think I'm good. So this is what mine looks like right now. And I can tell I'm not over the line with anything. I'm ready to go to the next page. Let's go ahead and say okay. And we're going to go into embroidery. And I'm in my layout page. That's on the Luminaire and Solaris. If you're on the other machines, it usually says edit. So you'll have a secondary edit page. This is the page where you're just going to have these options. So if you're looking for all those other options, that just means hit return, go to your primary or your main edit page. Now you can see right here on my progress bar, not all the machines have the progress bar, but you can see it's broken up and it's going to repeat, repeat, repeat. I'm just going to hit this button right here, and it's going to do all of my placement, all of my tack down. It does it all at once. And let's go ahead and do our stitching. I already have a pre-wound bobbin in here. I like to do this when I usually do these. I usually do these with like a light gray. I'm gonna grab my thread colors. Okay, I need to put it in something. The Great Dump. So far, this is my collection. So these are my collection of glide threads that I've gotten from buying individually and also buying them in sets. So these are my glides. There might be, like, there's a couple isocord in here where I didn't have the right color, but I like them because that's what they're using for your cuties, for the cuties. So a lot of times when I'm doing Kimberbell projects, I stick to my glide thread. But normally I use isocord, so I'm just going to use this. This is just going to be for like my placement and stuff so you can see it. This one is sterling, and it's just like a light gray. So let's talk about what we're going to do next. When you look at this, placement for your batting, tack down for your batting, placement for your background fabric, tack down for your background fabric, and then the quilting stitches right here. So we are going to do... and we did this last time. I skipped these two steps and I just did placement for my background fabric and then skipped the tack down and then the quilting. So just this turquoise and that green. And I just took my batting and sprayed it down the middle of my background fabric. So if you're good with that, that's what we're going to do, or else you can do placement for your batting and then lay down your batting pieces, but it just saves us some time. I know some people like to tack down the batting and it will make it more secure, but I'm just doing these. They're probably just going to be more decorative. If you're going to be washing these a ton, then it might be good to just have your pieces big and trim them and do all of that. But I'm going to go straight here. So I'm going to hit this button here. That's where you go forward and backwards. Even though this is showing one group of colors, there's really 4 stitch outs. And you can also touch, if you have progress bar, you can touch in your progress bar. I usually don't touch in that color because I'm scared I'm going to overshoot. I usually touch in the orange somewhere. And there, now I'm ready. So I'm just going to go ahead and let it stitch out. And I like to see what it's stitching. And while it's doing that, I'm going to be spraying my pieces. So here is this. So I want you to get your spray. If you're using spray, I use Ganold KK100, and I'm going to grab my spray tip. So these are my 1-inch batting pieces. I'm going to look at my thing and just make sure, because in my head I know what I'm doing, but we're doing these border pieces right here. So you're looking for the tan floral right now, the skinny tan floral. Pretty petals. You don't want to grab the ones that are thick. That's going to be for your binding. All right, here we go. Here's my dime spray tip, which I love. I also have a really icky spray box that I love too. And I'm just going to spray these. I don't think I cut mine down. I'm going to cut these down to size like later because I find that batting, it kind of stretches and pulls. So these are longer than what I'm going to need. When I cut them down to size, they're either too short or they're too long. So here are my pieces. Oh, actually, let's do this. I'm going to spray these first. And remember, you have a right side and a wrong side. So I want the right side sprayed. Because I'm going to put the right side to the wrong side of the fabric. So right side, like this, so when you turn it, it'll be the right side facing up. If you don't spray the right side, it doesn't really make that big a difference. These are just little batting pieces. But the right side of your batting is going to be the one that's not quite as bumpy. If you have any dark pieces of thread, make sure you get that off. These are like all my scraps. I just keep all my scraps. And then I use them for things like this. And so now, on top of hoarding everything else, I've been hoarding batting. Okay, here we go. I'm going to take this. I'm going to lay it down on each one of these. And then I'm going to give these a spray. So those look like my 1x12s. Here's my 1x10. Oh, look. There's only one of those. Hang on. Where are you hiding? This is where I start to panic. I'm like, I organized everything and put it all together. These are my batting pieces. Or my binding. Oh, here it is. Why it's over there, I have no idea. Okay, let me put this down in here. Okay, I'm going to lay these down in here. I know this is kind of awkward to see. I'm just kind of laying them down in the center. And I'm just eyeballing it. Then I'm going to spray it. I'm going to lay it down into my hoop. And I'll trim those bottom parts off later on. But I rather have it like go all the way and fill where it's supposed to go than have it be too short or too long, you know. I'd rather have it be too long, actually. And this like filming arm, this is what gives me this thing right here. Makes everything awkward for me because I have to kind of work around it. But okay, hang on. Now I'm going to spray all of that. I'm going to lay it down on my placement line. So now we have this. Let me give it, and I usually give it a good spray. Normally I'm a like I'm a spritzer, like just barely anything. But this, I don't want it to kind of slide around. So I kind of do give it a good spray. Normally, like I said, I don't normally spray quite as heavy as that, but I do for this. All right, we're ready to lay it down, and then we're going to do the quilting stitch. Here we go. So I'm going to grab these first. These are ready to go. And I'm going to stay right inside of the placement line. Everything. I'm going to kind of push it down. Oh, and you know what? We will do the next stitch. Because the next stitch, it tacks it down. It's going to go like 1/8 of an inch inside. So we're going to do the next stitch. I know I said I was going to skip it, but I'm not skipping it. Have fun at your guild meeting. I forget it's Monday. Things are happening, huh? So, to go back to the tournament, we only have a rec league, and it's brand new. There's never been anything for the boys. Oh, you know what? Hang on a second. Do you see how I'm going over? You want to go up? Like we need to go up a little bit. So go 1/4 inch above up here. Because you're going to need to sew it. And really, if you want to do it, center it. Because it is, I would do that. Let's center it because that's where your stitch is going to go, and I think that's what we did for the last one.
Can Kai use your laptop for
have him
his
take
project?
Yep, have him take it. Okay, let's center it. Because I think some people were talking about the design not totally fitting in there. So let's go ahead and center it, and you're going to center it to the stitch, and eyeballing it is going to be good enough. So just have an equal amount of fabric on the top hanging over and an equal amount on the bottom hanging over. I can't remember. I got a note from somebody who was talking about it not being, the design being off. And I think that's, do you guys remember, is that what we did for Cuties 1? I think we centered our fabric to the placement line and we went a little bit above and beyond. And here you're going to see the same thing. So here I've got what, like 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch, which is fine because you're going to sew in 1/4 inch and you're going to be 1/4 inch above and it'll be centered. And I think that's what you want. So you don't want it to be just designed. I don't know why they have it like that. Because you could do the 1x12 design or the 1x, I think there's 1x14. Sue, you love doing it this way? Some people don't, and I totally get that. If you don't love doing it this way and you're worried about that batting not being stitched in, I get it. You're just going to go ahead and take those extra steps. Okay. So, you're going to see I'm about a little more than 1/4 inch above and beyond here. This is going to be more like 3/4 of an inch and 3/4 of an inch here. And let's go back to our screen. We are going to do this tack down. I want you to be mindful of this and maybe even keep your finger here on this button. You could slow down your speed too, but you just want to make sure that it's, and I like to kind of flatten my fabric down as we go too. And if you need to stop it to reposition your fabric, I want you to do that. Now it's going to go up the other side. And sometimes I kind of push my fabric up and over to the right. Just so it doesn't, just don't want it to buckle it or push it. Sorry about that. We're going to do the same thing over here. Patrick is so funny, isn't he? He says the darndest things. I'm just thinking about his comment this morning. Oh, poor Patrick. All right. Are these the inner? These are the inner. These are your skinny inner borders. And I'm kind of just making sure the fabric doesn't buckle. Yes, inner, inner, inner. That's why they're skinny.
I heard you talking trash.
I wasn't talking trash. I said you say the funniest things. I was so excited to come home. You know when you go on a trip, I was just like excited to be with the family and see Patrick and see Violet and see the dogs. And the dogs get big so fast. Poppy, like I got home, I was gone for 2 days. And I was like, she looks like a teenager. She doesn't look like a little baby puppy anymore. I joked she's like Wolverine because we haven't walked her too much because she hasn't had all her parvo shots. And her claws they're so sharp. It's like she slashes you up like Wolverine. I don't know if you saw Patrick had that big scratch on his face. Sure, he would have loved if that was for me, but no, it was from Poppy. Stop, you two. I love this fabric. So Pretty Petals, I find that they're great mixers, so I absolutely love them. All right, let's look at our quilting. And remember, I did my quilting stitches on one of mine with like the light gray, and it looked like it was just dirty. So they give you color recommendations for your quilting, and for the inner border, it's this kind of, I'm not sure if that's like cashmere. So I'm going to be using this one right here. So it kind of blends more than anything, and it's cashmere. So if you have the glide thread, if you ever, I probably order from Hab and Dash is the distributor for glide thread. I don't know if they're the manufacturer. I think they're the manufacturer. So if you ever want single, like if you have all, if you have here, Kai's in here right now. If you ever need individual spools and you're not in a hurry, or if you want me to get you king cones, like I bought king cone of wildflower. I think this is wildflower. Is that? I bought the king cone because I use it so much and I don't want to run out. Then you can always contact me and I'll order you whatever you want. All right, now we're going to do the quilting. Let's go ahead and just hit start and quilt away.
Just pull back in.
Here we go. Here's the chevron. After we do this, while we're doing this right now, why don't you get hooped up if you have a 6x6 or you have a 6x10? Get hooped up in that and let's do the little corner blocks. This is what you should have for your corner blocks. So you're going to have your little blocks here. I think these are 2.5 by 2.5 in red. This should be the batting. If you haven't cut it yet, cut it right now. I'm just going to kind of let that stitch. While that's stitching, we're going to do some multitasking, ladies. I'm going to just bring this over here. Whoop! Sliding around. If you don't have this 6x6 hoop, don't worry about it. Use your 6x10 hoop. If you don't have your 6x10, you can always use the 8x12. But I would add them to your collection. It's worth it. It's always nice to have the right hoop for the right job. I know they can get pricey. We always try to make you a deal. Our Christmas, like the big, like crazy Christmas specials are over. However, we'll still make you a great deal. Look, I just literally got up and just came downstairs. I got home last night. I don't know why driving takes it out of me. Like, I think it's because I have to concentrate because I can't see anymore. I don't know about you ladies, but I used to like be a road warrior, and now I struggle to see. Okay, if you are doing 6-inch hoops, meaning 6x6 or 6x10, I like to cut my fabric 10.5 inches. So my muslin 10.5 by width of fabric. I haven't gotten the question yet. So usually somebody asks me, they go, why do you use muslin instead of stabilizer? And I use it because it's softer and more pliable. And at this point, I think it might be cheaper. So we carry the 90-inch, the 60-inch, and the 45-inch in our store. I have all my fabrics cut for this project, but I'm just watching you today and we'll embroider and quilt it later. Just want to thank you so much. You're welcome. You know what, ladies? I've got to thank you because number one, you'll make suggestions. And so I do things just the way I sprayed that stabilizer and put it down. That was Christine Poole told me that's what she does. And I love doing it that way. So I've learned from you. And the other thing is when I schedule these sew-alongs, it gets me to do my project. Would a 5x7 work for this? 5x7's, I'm not sure. I'm going to put it in. I think it's too close, but it might work for this. I think I initially tried to do the 5x7, but your fabric, I think you could do it in the 5x7. You might not be able to, these might overlap. Like if your design, and the design is not just the little design, it counts wherever the red box is. So if your red boxes are touching, it will not let you color group, but who cares, right? You can just fast forward. So let's go ahead. I'm going to put it in the 6x6, but let's try it in the 5x7 too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to spray my batting. And I'm going to spray it down to this. Then we'll do the placement stitch and we'll just put it down just like we did with the border pieces. So let me get my spray tent. Again, I'm going to touch and make sure the smoother side is up because that's going to go against the wrong side of fabric. I'm just touching it, really, to see which one's bumpier. I'm going to give that a little shot of spray. Now I'm going to lay it down on the center of these, so just center it. I can't even imagine like how much time this saves. I'm all about saving time, ladies. Saving time. Because after this, well, we'll see what I can get done with the puppies. But I'm going to try and do the, I give this a healthy spray because I want the edges to stick down. Okay, those are ready to go. Hoop is hooped up. If you have a 6x10 and you're using the 6x10, I want you to hoop it. We're going to stitch in the top part of your hoop. Let's go ahead and see what we get with the 5x7 if we can fit it. All right. Here we go. Here are our inner border strips done, quilted. We will trim them out in just a little bit. I'm going to take this off. How are we doing? I don't want to I know people say I go fast. I don't want to go too fast. So this is what your inner border strips should look like. And I'm just going to go ahead and put those to the side. If you want to pop them out of the hoop, you can. I'm going to put my 8x12 over here. And I know later on I'm going to be like, where's my 8x12? Because I'm putting it where I would never put it. Let's see. I did the itty bitties in the 5x7 and they were close, but it worked. Okay. Linda's saying she did them in the 5x7. If you want to hoop up in the 5x7, hoop up in the 5x7. I'll go ahead and put that on my screen. Change to a lower. Okay. So I didn't clear my screen yet, and I slid my hoop on, so it's telling me to change to a bigger embroidery frame. No big deal. Just slipped up, pull that out. I'm not even pulling it out all the way. And now I'm going to go home. Linda, did you do this whole thing already? And if you did, you should watch, and then when I go to tell the ladies the wrong thing, you should say, don't listen to Jeannie. All right, I'm going to go here to my pocket. I'm going to go to my USB, this one, because that's where I put my USB extension. And we are going to go into Quilting Bundle. And let's see which design we need for the itty bitty. Oh, they're the bitty blocks. I couldn't remember if they were itty bitty. I thought they were itty bitty or itsy bitsy, but now I know that they're just bitty blocks. So I was wrong all the way around. Okay, we're doing this right here, bitty blocks. And it's Bitty Blocks Love Bug. And we're going to do block by block. Clear blue tiles would be just if you are just stitching the little love bug. But we need a placement line, so we're going to go block by block. And here we are. There's Love Bug. How cute is that? All right, let's pick our hoop size. So I'm going to go up here. If you have a 5x7, let's go ahead and do 5x7. And this will give you time to catch up if you're still hooping. I'm just starting now. I had to restart. No worries. Just work at your own pace. You can always watch the video later. We'll go 5x7. Okay, there's my 5x7 outline. Everything's going to kind of touch. So we're going to go, I'll just use my finger. I'm just going to move them up to the upper left-hand corner. Again, we're doing the same exact design, so we're not going to go to add. We're just going to go in here to edit. Remember, this is your color list, and the screens, your edit screens, are right behind these. So you just hit the button, and it'll bring one to the top. So here's now my edit options. Touch it again, color list. So they just switch back and forth. So this is what makes a copy. Make a copy. And you could go make a copy and drag. Oh, yeah, that totally fits. And then make another copy, drag, make another copy and drag, okay? Go ahead, take your time and just space them out. If you want, you could spread them out. You could use the whole hoop. If you're leaving your stabilizer on a long strip, then just kind of snug them up to the top, whatever you want to do. I'm using a 6x6, so I'm going to change my hoop size. So I'm going to go back up here to my settings, but you can totally fit them in that. Here's my 6x6. And that's going to let me just spread out a little bit. So I like to use my finger to get general placement. And then I'm going to use my arrows to get precision. And I'm going to just snug them all the way up into the corners. And the advantage of snugging it up is when we go to rehoop, we have all of this down below that we can use. So you don't have to snug it up. I'm just so used to economizing my stabilizer at this point. And I'm going to go ahead and say okay. And I am ready to go. How are we? Any questions? Haven't done everything. The bitty blocks and inner. Well, look at us. We're so in sync, Linda. We didn't even talk about what we were going to stitch first. Okay, here's embroidery. Again, here's my progress bar. It has everything spread out and done individually. If you're you have them and those lines are overlapping, it will not allow you to color group. So just keep that in mind. If the red lines are touching, it will not allow you to color group. You're going to have to do each one individually. Not a big deal. So I'm just going to go ahead and touch this. It's going to let me do mine. And I am I'm ready. So first thing is placement stitch for the batting. I'm going to skip that. I'm going to skip the tack down for the batting. I am going to do this turquoise, which is going to be placement for the background, and I'll lay everything down at once. I'm going to skip the tack down for the background fabric because it's just going to go around the entire outside, and I'm going to go into the quilting. So let me go ahead and touch in my orange. Oh, well, let me do that. I have to hit this button first. Okay. Now I'm going to touch in my orange, and I'm going to fast forward. This goes forward. This goes backward steps. And I can tell I'm in my turquoise. It's showing it here and in my screen. I already have this cashmere in there. That's a great color for this. So let me go ahead and say okay. I've got a red light, which means you can't stitch. Look it over here. Didn't slide it on all the way and didn't put that down. Now I've got a green light. So if you ever get a red light, it just says you're not ready for some reason, and just figure it out and get ready. This, I'm just going to go ahead. My pieces are all sprayed and ready to go. And after we do these, let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and do deck of cards. That's going to be the main square blocks. And I'm going to just keep hooping up in my 6x10 hoop. Or I could do them in this, right? What do I have in here? Sweet talk. Deck of cards. Either your 5x7 or your 6x10. Last time, I think I did 5x7. This time, I'm going to do 6x10s. I'm going to see what's the advantage, because I think maybe the trim lines might be an advantage. And don't worry about like any of this puckering. We're going to press all of that out. I don't worry about any of that, because with your iron and best press, you can get rid of all of that puckering. Is there a thread set for the cuties? There is not a thread set for the cuties, but on the bottom, it'll kind of, and I wish they would tell you the color name, because that would be really, really helpful. But they'll show you the thread colors, and I kind of just pick stuff. I'll kind of let you know which colors I picked as we go. All right. Here we go. And mine are guesses. So I didn't send it to you. I guess I could put it in there and say, here's my guess. But I just didn't want to, I just don't like giving you misinformation. These should be ready to go. You're just going to lay them down in each square. I'm going to kind of stand above and see if I can. And I like it like a lot of spray on these because I want this part to kind of stick down too. Go ahead and lay these down as much in that placement line as you can. Go ahead and press it down. Hi, Miss Carol. Are you back from Arizona? Are you still in Arizona? I wish they would give the thread colors names. Yeah. Because they don't always like completely match the picture. So you know what I really love about Kimberbell is they keep improving. Like if you compare their instructions now to what they had before, they've gotten, there's just a lot of information there. So that's one of those things where we could go, we really like the name or the number of the thread color with the glide that you're using. And I bet they'll go ahead and add that. All right. So we're doing the corner blocks right now. And so it's recommending, I know you can't see it here, but it looks like a red. So I'm going to put in Wildflower, which is my favorite red that they have. So, they have lots and lots of different reds. But this one is Wildflower, and it is number 71935. But it'll say Wildflower on it. And I bought myself a big old king cone of it because I go, we are going to be using it in a lot of projects. As far as a needle, I think I have an 8012 Microtex needle in my machine. And the reason for that is because that's just what was in there. Because I usually embroider with a 7511 Oregon anti-glue needle or an 8012. Like both of those make me happy. Okay. Next step, gotta fast forward because I am on the tack down for my background, and we're not doing that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and touch this button right here. And let's go ahead and skip to the quilting stitches, which are going to be teal. And now we're on Love Bug. It should show that on your screen. If you just start doing the other thing, that's like what I do all the time. Don't worry about it. Just stop it and then just fast forward. Whoop, I got a thread in there, but that's okay. I'll just trim them up later. Okay, the other thing is I want you to look at it and see if you have pin dot. I know that drives some of you crazy. I'm one of those people that it drives crazy. I'm going to switch out my bobbin right now. So I'm going to go ahead and cut. I'm going to put in a red bobbin. I don't use a lot of pre-wound bobbins in colors. However, red and black is something, those are two colors I always keep on hand because I do not like pin dot. And you just get that. When you have high contrast in your bobbin and your upper, it's not like your tension's wrong. Nothing's wrong. This could be just my batting, it could be a number of things. But I'm going to eliminate that it's the thread, my bobbin thread. I'm just going to put that in. I'm going to go back a couple of stitches. Let's just go back 10. That's kind of standard for me. And let's finish up and see if that takes care of it. It might not. It could just be like bearding from that. I'm looking at it right now. That totally took care of it. So if you have a red bobbin, go ahead and put in a red bobbin. Betty, no, don't ask that. Okay, yes, I'm going to do Merry Christmas, y'all. I've just been having trouble squeezing it in. And that's also something that I have set up. Here, I'm going to show you this. I want you to see the difference between, this is red bobbin. I know you can't see it that well. Ugh. Let me see if I can zoom in. Do you see that? I feel like on my L and my O, you can see a little bit of, like, look at the O right there. You can see a little bit of the pin dot of the white. And now here you can't see any of it. So put in a red bobbin if you have it. I have everything. Nope, that is Sage's dad's. So no. No, that is not even ours. My car. Use my here. Perfect. Got a sassy 17-year-old in here. So, I'm going to do, yes, Merry Christmas. It's cut. I think I did the prep video. I think it's ready to go. I just haven't had a chance to start it yet. And it's in the queue. Because Kimberbell's trying to kill me with all their projects. I think it's, don't worry about any of this puckering. We're going to press all of that out. We're going to iron it. We're not going to worry about it. You have the muslin behind it. That's going to give you enough fabric. So don't worry about it. It's all going to look beautiful and gorgeous. Are we going to be able to watch this so long? Not live. Yes. Once any of the live, anything that we do live automatically gets loaded onto our site. So you'll be able to go on there. You should be able to do a search just for Cuties 2 or February Tabletopper, and it'll be loaded there. I don't know if you'll be able to find it on Facebook. I'll have Patrick load it there too, because we can put a link onto Facebook. And I know it was late, but I'll finish these and I'll film the finishing of them too. Oh my goodness, how cute are those? These are so cute. I just love them. Oh my god, so cute. Love bug. All right, we're done with those. We're going to go ahead and hoop up and let's start. We're going to get ready to do these inner blocks. And the inner blocks are called, those are called Deck of Cards, page 22. So I'm going to keep working in my 6x10 hoop. Let me move this out of the way. Kimberbell overload. At this point, ladies, my advice to you is, because I don't want all of this stuff sitting on a shelf and I don't want it just sitting there taunting you like, look at me, you haven't made me yet. I want you to pick the projects that speak to your heart, and I just want you to get those so you can get them done. And although if you're a collector, hi, Mr. Curtis. Now I will no longer say, hey, ladies. It is ladies and gents. Do the projects that speak to you. I am really excited. This is why Merry Christmas Y'all hasn't gotten done. Because, let me show this to you. Oh my goodness. Because Tweetheart, I've got to do Tweetheart. Tweetheart is adorable. And I've gotten my instructor pack for Oh So Delightful. So, I need some WD-40 for this freaky haunted house store that I have in here. But we're going to do this as a sew-along. So if you have not gotten the kit yet, I can't remember how many I bought, but I think there's a couple left. So make sure you get that ordered. I am going to do this as a sew-along. We're going to stitch that out together. We'll probably schedule it for maybe like 5 weeks. These I'm going to film. So when you buy this kit, and your kit isn't, yours is going to come in a box. This is my instructor kit with all my embellishments. These I'm going to just record and I will post those. Maybe they'll be sew-alongs. I'll just, I'll just wake up and be like, oh, I feel like sewing along, and we'll just do it live, but I might not give you any notice, but that way they'll just be up and ready to go, or I might just pre-record, and pre-recording is really good for me because it's less pressure to do it right and perfect the first time, because I can stop a video when I'm confused and reread the directions. When I do these live, I'm just like, okay, let's do it and let's make it awesome. All right. But that is, I think it's scheduled for the end of February is when we're going to do that. Okay, let me grab my 6x10 hoop. If you're using muslin, you are just going to use that same piece that we did the bitty blocks on. Let me get this out of my way. It's going to be cute. And Tweetheart, I'm doing Tweetheart at the end of the month. So if you haven't gotten your kit for that, get your kit for that. And we also are doing on the 19th and the 20th, and your kits will go out. I'm going to the store after this to get everyone's kit sent out. And I have some more. So if you want to do that, we're doing the, is it One Spring? I don't know why I can't remember the name, but One Spring Day? Or Fine Spring Day? If you know me, you'll know that it's very like me to never know exactly what it's called. You're going to leave this on here because it's going to save you all this stabilizer. I'm going to scoot it down just a little bit because I like it to be, I like to see this like right under it because that's kind of your no-sew. So that just tells me that I'm utilizing every last bit. Tight. I'm going to loosen it up a little bit. I need Kimberbell to take a year. Curtis, I hear you. I need a break too. Every time I talk to my rep, I'm like, hey, you've got a lot of projects. It's really killing me. She just laughs. She's like, ha 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 ha. I'm like, is there such a thing as death by Kimberbell? I say that to her and she's like, ha 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 ha. And then she just laughs. There we go. Because they're so cute. It's so hard because you do want to do them all. You can say no, ladies. Yes, you can say no, ladies. All right. I keep going. I'm not going to do it. No. And then it comes out. I'm like, oh my God, it's so cute. I got it. The only one I said no to is Shout Hooray. And I'm thinking it's going to come out and I'm going to end up doing it. And it's going to be amazing. Because I feel like it's like a different look. So part of me is like, I really want to do it because it's different. We are, most likely, we're just going to do, like, what, I think we did all 4 of them last time. So, okay, I haven't really planned it. This is my back. So, can I show you my back for this? I'm not using what came with the, I'm not using what came with the kit. I just took all of my leftover pieces and I just kind of pieced them together and other pieces that I had in my scrap Kimberbell bin. And so I did this, I think it's 24 inches by 24 inches. I'm going to cut this up and this is going to be the back for my pillow or my table topper. Because I have so many little pieces and it hurts me to throw those away. So that's what I'm doing. All right, let's go ahead and turn to our page. Love Kimberbell. I'm just taking a peek at your notes to see if anyone asked anything. There we go. It looks like everyone's caught up. We're going to go to page 22, poly mesh or muslin. So you can always use the poly mesh that it calls for. Our quilt design is going to be Heart Center February. This is the color that it is recommending. It's recommending this one. I wasn't sure what that is. So I think it's going to be, I think I'm doing, this one I think is linen. So maybe this one's going to be cashmere too. We'll go ahead and look at our colors. And let's go ahead and turn to page 22. Okay. For this design, whatever color right here, that's what you're going to be choosing to kind of go with the background fabric. And we are going to be centered, aligned, stitching the quilt design on top of the applique. So when we go ahead and load this, we're going to do the placement and all of that, but your quilting design, we're going to save for the very end. So just keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and grab our fabric. So this is what you should have ready. I had miscut this, but I know this is going to be big enough. These were supposed to be 3.5, and I did miscut these when I did the prep video, but I looked at it and it's going to be big enough anyways. So just grab, and if you want to stack them, you can just kind of group them right now. So we need one of each of these for each one. Let's just try and do them all. I don't have them in order. I'm just putting them in groups of 4. I'm going to have to cut some more fabric. Last night, I remembered that I hadn't had enough of this, and so Patrick was on his way from a friend's house last night. I made him stop at the store to grab it. He is not, when I describe fabric to him, he's not very good at grabbing the right thing, so I was a little bit worried. But he came home with the right stuff. I was excited. Okay, background fabric, 7.5 by 7.5. It should be pre-stabilized. I have some extra pieces shape flex here for the ones that I haven't cut yet. So this should be pre-stabilized with your shape flex. And when I put my shape flex on, I always cut it a little bit smaller. This was like a wonky piece, but who cares? It's going to be cut down to like 5.5 by 5.5, I think. Your batting pieces should be 5 by 5. And so you're going to be trimming this down quite a bit. And we are hooped. Let's go over to the machine. I love Kimberbell. For me, Kimberbell is entertainment. Because I am a maker, and makers gotta make, right? So, and there are some of the projects that I can't wait to put them up someday when I actually have time to make my house look beautiful. Right now, it doesn't. Let's switch our bobbin out. We do not want that red bobbin in there right now. So I'm going to take him out. I'm going to put my white one back in. They've really figured it out. Kimberbell has, I feel like they're so great with their projects. They're great with their directions. They're great with just everything. They've just really done a good job. And we're going to come in here. Let me grab my handy dandy spreadsheet. If you don't have this spreadsheet, I posted it to our Facebook page. I don't think it's on the YouTube page. And I meant to send it out to everyone, and I just got way too busy because I needed to create a group. And so I didn't get you all in the group. So I'm going to go up here. Home is going to clear what's ever on our screen. It's not going to delete it just from the screen. I'm going to go embroidery. And let's pick our hoop size. I'm going to come up here, and we're doing the 6 by 10. And it's the 6.5 by 10 and 1/4, but we just call it the 6 by 10. So that's on our workspace. Let me go here, and we're going to put in heart center. So let's load our quilting first. Heart center February. Cuties. Heart center February. Centers and triangles. Here we go. And we are doing heart center. And do you see how you have 2 of them? You have a 5 by 7, and then you have one for the 6 by 10. Choose the right one for your hoop. I'm going to go ahead and hit set. I'm going to scoot him. Before I scoot him, I'm going to add the other design and then scoot it in my next page, which will combine them and move them at the same time. If I scoot him now, then I'm going to have to manually center the other one, so we're not going to do that yet. So go ahead and hit add. And we are going to go back to our pocket. Whoops. That didn't work because I have them in my lower USB. Go cuties. These are my designs. And we are looking for this one right here, which is deck of cards. Set. He is centered right now. So I'm not going to move. I'm not changing anything else. So I'm just going to hit embroidery. Or I'm going to touch embroidery. Now this is one design. I'm going to just go ahead and hit layout, move. And I'm not using my fingers because then it won't move it left and right. And I just scooted them all the way up to the top. And that's it. Okay? That's going to save us all of this muslin for our next hoopings. And we're going to just be efficient. We're going to be efficient embroidery warriors. All right. First step. We're going to go ahead and let's just do, first step is placement for your batting. I have red in there, which I'm going to take out. And I'm going to put my gray back in. Or we can put in the first color that that's going to make a difference. But let me just put gray because I don't feel like thinking. Okay, placement for your batting. Go ahead and give your batting a shot of spray. Where's my batting? Where's my batting? Oh, here it is. Okay, batting and background fabric right here. Oop. Now we're going to go ahead and lay the batting down. I sprayed the wrong side of my batting because that's going to go down first. Ooh, actually... that's not, oh well, it's okay. I can feel this is my wrong side, which is up, and it's okay. But that can cause like bearding, like little pieces of the batting to come through. Now, once the tack down, we're going to skip that. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to this button where I go forward and backwards stitches. I'm going to skip the tack down. Now, it wants placement for my background fabric. I'm going to do that. So now I know where to put that down. Or we could skip that because, did I cut that way too big? No, it says 7.5 by 7.5. We could have skipped that because we can, sometimes I'll just kind of fold it in quarters. And I'll put this right in the center, and I'll just kind of eyeball it and open it up. We do want to do the tack down. Okay. You just want to make sure you're about an inch. You've got about an inch all the way around. And you want to do that tack down so it secures it. And we're going to skip the quilting. The quilting's going to happen after. So don't do your next step, which is the quilting and the hearts. That's going to be at the very end. Yeah, I think a lot of people love the muslin. I'm sure there's people that don't. And if you don't, Betty, just use the no-show. But, and I don't use muslin and stitch right on the muslin because the muslin really doesn't support, it doesn't give you any support. There's no stabilization. It's like a lot of times the weave is loose, but if you're going to be putting down batting, stabilized background fabric, you get so much stabilization from those pieces that go on top that you really, this is just kind of something for everything. It's a base for everything to stitch on. All right, we are here. So, stitch the card one placement line. It is telling you that it wants that pink color. I'm using taffy, so the color makes a difference here. And we're going to skip this step, so we have to manually fast forward on our screen too. So let me grab, where are my thread colors that I chose? Everything is messy. Hang on. Because I have a whole tray of thread colors. Here they are. Okay. So here's my little tray. These are the colors that I kind of chose beforehand. I'm going to skip before I forget. So we're not doing this. We're going to do that at the very end. Let's go here, and it's going to do the placement. It would be nice if it did all of it, right? But that's going to be the placement, and we are laying down, these are our fabric colors. So either this is what I pulled. I pulled taffy and I pulled, oh, that's too pink. We're doing taffy for sure. I love taffy. Taffy's really a good color too. That's one of the ones that I would buy like King Cone because I think they use it in a lot of the different designs. Okay, this is going to be our placement. While it's stitching the placement, I'm going to take all 4 of these and I'm going to go to my spray tent and give them all a shot of spray. And you don't need a ton of spray on those. Okay, first piece it wants you to lay down is it wants you to lay down the one that's kind of wavy. So let's grab that. We're sprayed and ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and lay this down. And it shows it like going diagonal like this. And now we're going to do our tack down. This is step number 2. And then we're going to trim close to our stitch. I think a pair of double curve will do the job best because you do have that backing. If it was just 1 layer of fabric, I'd probably use my snips. So I think those are the easiest. Good. Anytime it says close to the stitch, I like to use double curved. Anytime it says trim as desired, I like to use curved straight. And it makes a difference having the right scissors, having the right tools. Patrick never complains because you know what? That man likes the right tools for all of his different activities. He totally gets it. Sometimes I'm cheap and I'm like, I don't want to get stuff. And he's like, why don't you just get what's going to make your job easiest? And I think my innate self or, you know, my inner self likes to be thrifty. But I always tell Patrick, you've made me fancy. He's made me a fancy girl. Because I was never fancy. I think because my parents were so practical. Not that his aren't, because they are too, but I think Patrick's fancy. All right. So cute with the batting down there. Everything's kind of puffy. Next step. Now it wants you, we just finished that, we trimmed it. Now it wants you to stitch the placement stitch for the next piece. Go ahead and just hit start. And you're going to be grabbing the piece that is the pink floral. All right, we're going to lay this one down. And you're going to see, even with my miscut, we'll have plenty of fabric. So honestly, if you did it again, I mean, I'd say like do the project and then you can modify it. You can go, oh, I could have just done this with a 3x3 piece. Now we're going to go ahead and trim it close to the stitch line. And if you have to slide your hoop off, slide your hoop off. I cut with both my hands. So I don't, you know, I can just leave it on there for the most part. Do you have some WD-40?
Do I have WD-40?
Yeah, could you like put it on the door so it's not so creaky?
We put sewing machine oil on it so it doesn't get dirty.
Can you do that?
Not this moment, but yes.
Thank you, handyman. I'm gonna make Patrick a t-shirt with like all the jobs that I ask him to do. Okay, what would he be then? He would be, number 1, he'd be my barista. Okay. If you look on your screen now, it wants you to do, looks like it wants you to do satin, or it wants you to do the decorative stitch. Could it be already? So we did trim the fabric close to the stitch line. Now we're here and it says stitch the card to decorative outline. And so once the decorative outline here, you really want that stitch to be nice and close because it's not a satin stitch. So I'm just going to hit start. It's not a satin stitch, and so if you don't have that the fabric trimmed really closely, then you get some of the thread sticking out. After we do this, we're leaving that same color in for all of this, that same taffy. Now, then we're going to do the placement for color 3. We're going to trim it, and then the decorative stitch to that, and then we're going to stitch placement for 4, and then trim, and we're leaving the same color in for all of this. I find Kimberbell is fantastic with their customer service. If you ever have an issue with anything that we get for you, and I had one gal that had like an issue because I can't remember what it was, like their binder or something had a problem, and they were having an issue dealing with customer service directly, and then they emailed me and I dealt with my rep directly, and it was like dealt with instantly. So if ever you're having like an issue with a product that you get from one of your dealers, reach out to your dealer directly. We can always assist you too, but they're pretty great. Okay, fabric we're laying down is going to be the one that is like this one right here. I don't know what it's called. You know what else I got for a customer that might be helpful if you're having questions with like the fabrics, or you don't know which fabric goes where, or like which fabric you're looking for? I can get you a color chart. I can get you a fabric of the basics. Do I have one here at the house? I think mine's at the store, but I can show you that too. It's kind of nice to have. So we're going to trim this fabric close, and then we're going to do the decorative stitch outline. When it's straight lines, a lot of times I just trim it right here. When it's like curvy stuff, a lot of times I will slip my hoop off because I find that I need to like move my hoop around, and this isn't always going to fly when you do it like this. Adorable. All right. Part of me feels like I should be doing a darker color. Like it might look better with like the red, but I'm just going to leave the taffy in because that looks like really what it's calling for. Okay, decorative stitching around that piece that we just trimmed. So another thing that I do, especially if I'm using this thread on my multi-needle, is I will write the thread number, and I think some of these have the thread color. Did I write it? Nope. I'll write it on the very tops up here, and that way when I put it on my multi-needle, I don't have to stand on my tippy toes and try and read the color and everything on the very tippy top. I can just kind of glance up and see it. We're almost done with this one. Let's do all of them. So we're going to do all 4 of these. Then we'll be done with those. We'll have our inner borders. We'll have our inner blocks done, our bitty blocks, and our inner borders. And then we'll just do the triangles and the outer borders. Okay, this one. Next step is stitch the card forward placement line. I'm just going to go ahead and hit start. The fabric that we're going to grab is going to be the solid color. we doing, ladies? Everyone doing okay? And if you fall behind, we're going to do all the next ones too. So we're just going to go ahead and hoop up the next one. So we're going to repeat so you can just jump in. Is that, Sue, is that one of the, and this is plenty big enough. Is that one of the glide colors? Is that what it's called? Go ahead and hit start. This is going to be your tack down, then you're going to trim. The color that I just put in my cart and added is, I'm realizing I don't really have any oranges. So I had to pull from my Isocord stash. I didn't have like the peachy orange from Glide. So I ordered like 5 different ones because I figure I'll use them at some point. All right, go ahead and trim, and then it wants to do the decorative stitching. A lot of times I'll hold my fabric up, not all the time, but if you hold it up like at 90 degrees, you get a really nice close trim. Sometimes it's too close. I'll move my camera out of the way. Oop. Make it so it doesn't bobble. I know there's some people starting Software 101 with Michelle too. That class is starting. And I was going to do this later in the day, but I'm telling you, I get tired as the day goes on. I'm like best in the mornings. I've always said to myself, nighttime is the right time for me. But as I get older, the morning time has become the best time for me. I love these scissors. So, okay, let's talk about our double curve. So this is my double curve. These are the 4.5 inch ones. And you have the curve here that goes over the hoop edge. So that's what that first curve is. And then the second curve is to help so you don't, go into your fabric, or it's nice to have that curve up. We also carry the 6 inch. So this is the 6 inch. These are bigger and beefier. So if I'm going through heavier fabric, this is what I use. And then there's Scissors 101. These are just my snips, my titanium snips, and I love these because they're spring-loaded. So they're really easy. You just pinch them together. I feel like they're easy on the hands. They're not strong though, so I will really use these just like on one layer of fabric or as my snips for thread. Okay, now it wants to do the outline stitch here. I'm just going to keep in the same color, so just go ahead and hit start. You got to have these. So you either have to have these or you have to have your side hoppers, and they kind of do the same thing. I really like that hook though. Like, I use them both because of course I misplace stuff, but this is what you're going to use for jumping, for trimming your jump threads. They're just the best. When I use these, I get the little hook under one way, and then I flip my scissors and I cut them the other way. Have to have. You have to have. Where's my curved straight? Where's my curved straight? I love these micro tips because sometimes you need that strong tip. I'm looking for my curved straight, which I couldn't live without either. Oh no, they're missing! Okay, I have to find them. Because my curved straight is anytime it says trim as desired, that's what I use. Because sometimes you need to cut straight. When you're trying to cut a straight line with these, it's a challenge. It becomes challenging. All right, we are not finished though. Do not pop this out. We have to add our quilting stitch. So to do that, we're going to say okay here, but we're going to go back, and your quilting stitch is right up here. It's going to be what's in teal. So if you can, just go ahead and touch it. and it'll take you there. You can confirm. Otherwise, you can hit forward. That's going to get you there faster than going backwards. And now we're going to go ahead and put in our thread color for this. You choose whatever you want. So I could do this one. This I think is too dark, so I'm going to go with this cream. And it's linen, and I don't know if that's the right one. I don't think it's linen because they show, but I didn't have anything else that, you know, I was really, really vibing on. So I could look through here. What else do I have? What do you think? This? Too dark. Way too dark. I'm just going to go with the linen. What's this one? Linen. I think linen will be pretty, and it'll like brighten it up. Some of the other colors could kind of like make it look a little dingy. Linen's just so beautiful. Yeah, I had a safe trip, although I did have one. So I have an electric car, and I've had it since July. But I forget things when I get into a regular car, like you have to put it in park. So the boys were, we got to the restaurant, I just get out of the car, and the car was not in park, and there was no parking brake on. So they're like, oh my God, put it in park! And then I'm doing the quilting stitch now. And then it started to roll a little bit because I didn't put my parking brake on. But that was it. It was just the one time that happened. Wasn't a big deal. Everyone was fine. Because my car, you hit a button and then you just get out. It's kind of like the parking button too. Okay, while it's stitching this out, I'm going to get my fabric ready for the next one. Big deal was everyone was fine. The car didn't roll that far. So I am grabbing a piece of my, sorry, not really focusing well for you. I'm grabbing a piece of my batting, the 5x5 batting, and one of my background pieces, and I'm going to give them both a shot of spray. We are ready for our next one. We're quilted, done, everything's loaded on our screen. Let's go ahead and get hooped up and ready for the next embroidery. We're going to do all of these now and they will be done. It's 11:30, so we still have an hour and a half left. And here are my pieces, and I already sprayed them. I couldn't remember. I'm going to give this a little bit more spray. All right. Let's get hooped up and ready to go. We'll get cleaned up a little bit too. Try and keep it tidy. How'd we do with that one? Let's see. Still have family here. Glad to see. I sure did. We're going to unhoop this. We're just going to scoot it up. Once you have two pieces like this. Oh, I'm really close to that one. But this one we're going to trim right on that line. So I'm going to trim close to that. But you do want to have at least, this is our cut line. Like where we're going to trim basically, and then you want to have a 1/4 inch away from that. So that last one was hooped kind of close. I'm going to scoot it up, and we're going to go ahead and do the next one. Now you have it down. It should go nice and fast. There we go. That should be good. It's a little thick right here. I think we'll Whoop. Gotta loosen it up. Loosen a little more. Okay, we're in. Just make sure everything is level, that the back and the front. And then if you need to, you can hand tighten, and then you also want to use your hoop tightener, but mine's pretty snug, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to gently grab these edges, and I'm going to pull inward. You don't want to pull so much that you're distorting the fabric. You just want to pull in so it's nice and smooth, and that looks beautiful. We're ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the machine, and let's start stitching up again. First thing it wants to do, well, I've got to go back because now we're in the middle of our embroidery. So let me grab this. We're going to go back to the very beginning. You have a 0 button here, so you can just hit that, and it goes to 0 stitches, which is going to be the very beginning. And it wants to do placement for your batting. Go ahead and hit start. You may need to put your foot down, whichever way works. My batting's already sprayed and ready to go. How about if I angle it so you can actually see what's stitching? Be nice, right? And I just left that linen in there, so I know it's a little bit harder to see. And I'm just gonna lay down my batting. And then if you want, we can skip the placement for your background fabric, because come on, we have so much here. So I could just go ahead and quarter this. It's a little sticky because I sprayed it. I'm going to just center it and just open it up and then just feel around. You just want to make sure you have about 1 inch top and bottom, 1 inch left and right. When I say 1 inch, from the edge of your batting. And mine is good. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to skip the next step. Next step is placement for your background. We're just going to skip. That is tack down. No, that's placement for your background. So we're skipping tack down for your batting, placement for your background, and we are going to do tack down for your background. This is, you should be doing orange. This is tack down, and then we're going to skip, we're skipping the quilting. Quilting's going to go at the very end once all our pieces are laid down. You need to, I call this tickling my fabric. Sometimes I'll tickle my fabric just to make sure it's laughing. Just kidding. I'll tickle it just to make sure it's like out of the way. I like tickle it over, I tickle it down. Okay, if you look at your screen, it is showing you the quilting. We're skipping that, so go to the next step. If you don't have this up here, you get it by doing this button right here, which you should have that. I'm going to go ahead and go to the next step. This is going to be all the placements, the tack downs, and the decorative stitches. Let's go ahead and put in our taffy. I usually show this one time when we're doing this. I do not take my thread and pull it back. You have a tension disc right here, so you don't want to do that. What I do is, and I'm not even using a spool cap for this, what I do is I unthread. So I take it from here, and I go the opposite. I unthread it here to here, and then once I'm past this, it just comes right out. There's like nothing holding it there. So don't get nervous. I'm not unthread. I'm not pulling it back. That being said, when I bought my machine, I bought it and there were no classes. So I didn't know any better, and I pulled my thread back for probably like 5 or 6 years before I like learned that you weren't supposed to do that. I was one of the lucky ones. I never had a problem. But sometimes people, there's that tension disc, so they get it wrapped all the way around that, and then you have to come and see us, which you don't want to have to do that. So just be smart. I like 95% of the time I unthread, and then there are a couple of times where I get lazy and I just pull it back. But I have Patrick here, my repair guy. Okay, let's grab all 4 of your pieces, and we're going to give them a shot of spray. My dirty cardboard. I haven't changed it yet, but that's what's nice about this. You can just go ahead and take this out and then put a new piece in. It's just like batting and thread, so who cares, right? Some of you don't like that though. I know some of you are very, very neat. You probably change it out each time. And I love that about you. Don't go changing. All right, this one's down first. We're just going to go in the same order. Tack it down, and then we're going to trim it. If you need scissors, like the Fomori, their embroidery set is a good place to start because it comes with the snips, the double curved. Mine came with the curved straight. Some of them are a little different. Like they have different stuff in different kits. Jody, you need that. That's the dime spray tent. And it just keeps the spray from getting all over your room. But if you don't have that, you could use like a pizza box, or like the other thing I love that we use at the store is we use the, and that we have for when we did classes in the store, which we really haven't been doing anymore. If you have a snap hoop, like that box is perfect too. And sometimes I have a spray box as well, and I'll be using that for the border pieces because the border pieces are too long for my spray tent. Okay, done. Placement stitch for the bottom, the next fabric, and the next fabric is going to be, look at me going from memory. The floral. This is going to be this one. That's what you're getting next. Do you carry curved straight? Yes, I carry the curved straight too. So we have those in the store. They're the same price. I want to say these. The 4.5 inches, the curved straight and the curve, they're $14, and then the larger ones are $18, and the snips are like $22. So if you are watching this and you want to do an order for scissors or spray tent or any of that stuff, there's a couple things that aren't on sale in the store, like the kits that we cut in the store. Kingstar, we usually don't discount that, but if you want any of this other stuff, so our class discount this year, I know it's not, we've always done 20%, but we are going to go to 15%. Just put and I'll give you a class discount for the sew along. Just put in your notes, just put sew along discount, and I'll give you 15%. So just do your order on the website. You can always email me too and say these are the things I want, and I'll do 15% off of your order. But put it in the notes. Because these are not neat. These are not wants. These are needs. You have to have these things. There's a couple things you have to have. Good scissors. Okay, it's doing the decorative stitch. While it's doing the decorative stitch, I need to trim and press a little bit of fabric, so I will be right back. Placement stitch. Go ahead and hit start again. You're going to grab the piece of fabric that has this little design. Patrick, master of all service. Oh my God. He is, I don't know what I would do without Patrick. Like, he takes such good care of me. Like, in growing up as a kid, my mom did everything. My mom, like, she was just the one that did everything in the household. And not that my dad didn't. My dad was obviously a great provider, and he did stuff too, but my mom was really like the backbone of the family. I don't want to say Patrick's the backbone of our family, but maybe he is. I feel like I pull my weight, but he is, I just got a good one. I really got a good one. Could you add them to my order that you are waiting to ship? Will you do me a favor and email me? Sue, email me just so I don't, because I need, yeah, I will, just email me what it is that you want. So I can just add that. I don't want to forget. Okay, trim it up. Trim it up, ladies. And Curtis. And I don't know who else is on there. Which of my gents are there? Oh no, Jeffrey, you there today? I was just in the bay, Jeffrey. We could have gotten together for coffee. So I've never spent time in San Mateo before. I was like, I like San Mateo. Because it has like so much stuff and it has such great food. The food is really good there. Because they have so much, I love ethnic food. So they had so many options. What else do you use the curved straight scissors on? I basically use the curved straight just on applique, and I use it anytime I need straight lines or lines that are going to be like not cut to the stitch. That's when I'll use them, but you got to have them. Like, you just can't cut straight with a curved end. I just don't get the stitch I want sometimes when it's a curved pair of scissors. Okay, it's going to do the decorative stitch. All right. Go ahead and just hit your start button. This is going to be the placement stitch for your solid piece of fabric. Go ahead and lay your fabric down. Do the tack down, and then you're going to trim. It would be nice to, I wonder if I could fit this 5.5 by 5.5, 11, so it's not going to fit. I was going to say we could do this in the, it'd be nice to do multiples of these at once, right? Ooh, that was close. Okay, trim it. I'm a little stressed because I don't even see my my curve straight. I know they're here somewhere. I've not had a lot of time to be in my sewing room. Okay, let's get back to Kai's tournament. So his first game was a bloodbath. It was like almost it was painful to watch. And you just saw like how polished these other teams were, but there's never been, well, I can't say there's never been. There is no boys volleyball team at any of the high schools that I know of in our area. And so this league has just come together since August. So their team has just been together since August, and they didn't even have any subs. Like some of these teams had 20 kids per team. They had 8, which is what they had 6, right? Yeah, they had 6, which means they played every single game, the entire game, without a substitute. Okay, decorator stitch. So what was really nice to see was that they got better as the day went on, and even better with the second day. So it was nice because they don't play any teams either. They scrimmage against, there's an A team and a B team. And so the A team scrimmages against the B team, and you need to play people that are better than you to really get better. So it was exciting to see them progress and to get better as the day went on. So, and they had fun. I initially told Kai, because, I was worried about getting over the pass, and so he didn't tell us for sure until Thursday that it was definitely a go. And so I was like, we are not going. The pass is going to be a mess. I don't know if I can get back. I've got to be back for the so long. He is not going. And then Patrick goes, Kai was like, it's my only tournament. It's my last chance to play. And I was like, oh, my baby. Of course I'm going to take you. So that's how we ended up going. I could not. I just couldn't let him not go. Because it's true. It's the only tournament. He's a senior. He's going to be graduating. So I'm sure he'll play more volleyball, but it'll be like club. Hi, Miss Brenda. Good. I'm so happy. I get really great feedback from you ladies about the sew-alongs and about classes and about explanations. So that's really helpful for me because I go, oh, these are helpful and these are useful. And that's kind of what I, just the purpose. So it helps me know that we're accomplishing the goal, which is to teach you and have you learn. And for me, the goal is to get my project done. So I like the sew-alongs because then I'm accountable, and then I get my projects done too. And I've learned a lot just stitching with you ladies as well. And it's going to tell us that we're finished, but we're not finished. Don't forget, we still have to do our quilting stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and take out my taffy. I'm going to put in my linen. Those are the color names if you're using glide thread. And I'm going to say okay here. And this is where I want to go to. So you can either fast forward with your arrow if you have the option, or you can just touch. And just look in this window and just confirm it has what you want to be stitching up. Kai had one play where because he played soccer too. And you can use other parts of your body. So he had one play where he kicked the ball, and it actually went over and kept the ball in play. And I think they won the point, which I don't know, was kind of funny. This is how bad it was. They didn't have any subs. There was one play where the ball hit the floor, Kai was down low, and it hit him in the face. What I didn't realize is that it gave him a bloody nose. So he knew he had a bloody nose, and he just took his finger and pressed against the side of his nose until it stopped bleeding. Like he would hit the ball when he came to him and then just hold his nose. So I was like, oh my god, because he knew that if he wasn't playing that they'd have to play with 5 kids. They'd have to be down a kid. And he didn't want to be pulled out, so he just kind of squeezed his nose until it stopped bleeding. I was like, oh, my baby. we are done. Let's hoop up. We're got 2 more of these to do, and then we are gonna do one of our triangles. How long do you think that took us? You think these are like 15 minutes each? Okay, gonna scoot it up on my stabilizer. If you want, you can cut this off, turn it to the back side, and then cut between them. So you have like an equal amount. But you have to have one, you have to leave one on there. If you want to, like, if you want to be saving on like your stabilizer or your muslin, you should leave one on there. When I trim this one, it's going to be close to get that 1/4 inch in between the 2 of these. I'm probably going to press these out and then I'll trim that 1/4 inch. That was a little close. Sorry, guys. You need a little bit. You should have like a full, I'd say a full inch in between is what you're shooting for. I shouldn't have to adjust my hoop because I've already done this. A little bit up here is good. Just like a little bit of it, kind of, little bit of the fabric peeking through is good. That kind of tells you have it hooped right. Oops, I don't have any fabric over here. I'm going to scoot it before I push it in. Okay, looks good. Let's go to the machine. Everything is already loaded there. Okay, I'm going to go to stitch 0. Will take me back to the very beginning, or I could have touched it. There's more than one way to get to where you want to be. And I just have that same thread and just linen. So you might not see it that well, but I'm going to go ahead and spray my batting and my background fabric. There we go. There's my spray tent. I'll lay this down. And if I go fast, don't worry, you can just jump in with whatever part we have next. But I do want to get to the triangles, and hopefully I could get, I'm just going to do one of them. I would like to get to some of the border too. All right, I have one of these down. I'm going to fast forward. You can see I don't have any options here for fast forwarding, so I have to go down to this button here, which gives you forward and backwards. That, the orange was the tack down. I don't need that. This is the placement. I don't need that. I need the tack down for my background fabric. I'm just going to kind of center my background fabric over here and shoot to have like an inch on the left and the right and the top and the bottom. I didn't cut this right if you look at it. It is not a square, so it should have been 7.5 by 7.5, but it looks like it's more like 7.5 by 7, but that's okay. Because Kimberbell's so generous with their sizing, I have plenty. So I'm just doing the tack down, and I like to tickle my fabric so it's nice and taut. As long as you have, like, you're going to trim it down, it's going to get trimmed like that. Tack down stitch is really the trim line. Okay, we are skipping the quilting stitches. We're going to go the next step, and that is going to be your placement. So we're going to do placements and tack downs. Let's go ahead and put our taffy in. I'm going to take out my linen, unthread it. Don't pull it back. I had, there was a time where my thread got stuck up there, and Patrick was away on a trip, and I didn't have any choice. I was like, I'm pulling it, and I just pulled it, and it came out, but I was lucky. You're taking your chances. But it was like, I figured, well, worst case scenario, I bring it to the shop. Best case scenario, I get it out, and it did come out. Okay, I'm going to spray all my applique pieces. So let's come on over here. I'm going to lay them in my spray tent. And let's give them a little shot of spray to the back. And did I talk about this? Like, nobody's asked me, so I think you all know. But this is the spray I use. It's feeling light. KK Ganold. I probably go through, and you know, I'm a heavy embroiderer because I'm stitching so much out for the store. I probably go through 2 cans a year. And if you're not stitching a ton, like if it was just me just doing like a little bit here, a little bit there, I'd say probably a can would last me for the year. But if you're me and you're like, oh my God, I gotta get this Kimberbell project done, I gotta get this one done. For me, I think I probably go through 2 cans a year. Maybe I go through 3, but I don't know. I don't think so. Okay, your steps are placement and then tack down and trim. Placement, tack down and trim. Or there might be a decorative stitch thrown in there. So just look at your screen. If you're going on autopilot, like you do sometimes when you get in your car and you drive someplace and the next thing you know you're there. Sometimes we do that with our embroidery too. And you get lost, look at your screen because it's going to tell you what the next step is. So that, to me, turquoise is a placement stitch. But before I do that, I'm going to trim this out. I'm excited about this table topper because I love the conversation hearts. They're so cute. We're going to have the vinyl too for them. All right, placement stitch. Next one is going to be the pink floral fabric. Wasn't there one more step on the last deck of cards? Satin stitch around the cards. Oh my God, did I skip a step? No, I think I got them all. Yeah, there was no satin stitch. It was just that decorative stitch, and I just looked at mine, and it has all the decorative stitches on all of them. I don't think there's a satin stitch on anything. Yeah, they're all that decorative stitch. So not the satin stitch, but that kind of like candle wicking, but not candle wicking. So, and if you look at mine here, I can't really get to it, but I'll show you. But I got them on all of them. And it doesn't show red in there. I didn't use red. Do you think I should have had red? I used taffy for all of it because that's kind of the color that it showed. But I think red would look absolutely fantastic too. Like if I wasn't following the color chart, I probably would have done red because that would have been more of a contrast and it would have pulled out the red in all of these. Okay, here's the one that I just did last, and you're going to see it has the decorative stitch around all of them. Oop, I'm already out, so might as well just take advantage of it. Something I miss, like with our store, is Patrick and I divide and conquer. So it's rare, really rare for us to both take time off together because we need somebody at the store. And I really miss family trips because we don't do them very often. All right, it is going to do the decorative stitching around your floral piece right now. But we had so many family trips before we bought the store. I feel really lucky that we had those. On the stripe block, the left corner on mine is right on the tack down stitch on the background. So on the stripe block, the left block on mine is right on the tack down. So are you using the 5x7? Because if you're using the 5x7 hoop, I think that's going to be why. So I did the 5x7 hoop for the last one. I did the first 2 in pink. Now I will do the other 2 in red. And that's great too. Yeah, you can do whatever combination you want. Oh, you know, so if you look at the colors here suggested on the screen, it's going to be different than the colors that you have in the book. So it's really up to you how you want to do it. I'm going by the colors in the book. And Linda, I'm thinking, yeah, if you're using the 5x7, so I did this with the 6x10 today because I was thinking, I think it's going to be easier to trim with the 6x10 because you have the room for the entire outline stitch. You don't have that in the 5x7. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start again. So there's advantages if you have, and I found that with the last table topper, when I trimmed out my I can't remember what they were called, but the star with the circle, when you trim those out, you didn't guesstimate, but you had to line it up with the decorative stitching. With this one, with the 6x10, you have the advantage of just squaring up to the tack down stitch. So you're gonna, I think it's gonna be a little easier because I did have some trouble sewing mine together. My circle was off on one of my blocks. Carol, you got a good one too. Okay, let's trim it. And you could, with these, like if you watch the first one and now you go ahead and do one. So I know some people like to watch first and then stitch. I can't wait to do the corner block. I love the corners. Okay, I did my last corners with my 8x12, and I think if you do it with the 9.5x14, then you're gonna have those outline stitches that you can cut on that are gonna make it a little bit easier. Okay, this wants to do the decorative stitching. I know it shows you a red, like on the screen it shows you 1 pink and 3 reds. So just do it at your own discretion, however you want to do it. I should probably add some custom embroidery to this and then dedicate it to my love, Patrick Mulligan. And I could put all the things I love about him in my little squares. I would, of course, use 60 weight thread because there would be so much that I would be adding. So I did, like I said, so Sue, I did the 5x7 last time. And this time I thought, you know what, I'm going to try the 6x10 just to see what the advantages are. And I would use the 6x10 if you have the room for it, because then you're not going to have to, because it'll have you like line up like, you know, to the decorative stitch, like the very outermost part. With this, you can kind of fussy cut to the tack down. And I think that's going to make it a little bit easier. Do you sell the fabric kits for the... Yeah, we have fabric kits for this at the store. The only kit I don't have right now is the January kit, because there was like a miscut and we're just waiting for the fabric to come in. And we don't have any of the... You can't even get the white glitter until, like, what I'm seeing is until January 27th. I can't believe it. I've been dying for white glitter, and I've been dying for there's a gray fabric for the January one. But I have all the other kits in stock. And I've tried to make them really affordable. They do not include the backing fabric, But if you want backing fabric, I did kind of put together a little, just send me a note and I can show you the backing fabrics that I kind of put together for these. I have a little selection. Was there a video for the prep on there is a video. Yeah, so look up February Cuties fabric prep. You should be able to find something. If just go to the Sew Along group and there are you can do a search there and just type it in. Uh-oh! New site with hot girls. All right, let me see if I can shut that down. I don't know how to get that to not pop up. I think they need to know this isn't their demographic. They need to look elsewhere for that. Yeah, we ship. So if you do 3 kits, we ship 3 kits at a time for $9.99 priority mail. And then each kit individually is $5.99. And I know a lot of people, like, we've refunded you because it is built into, I think if you choose shipping, it's built in. So, like, if you know, we'll always try to combine shipping. But yeah, we love shipping. Patrick is my shipping manager. He does a reasonable job. Let me see if I can get rid of those new sites with hot girls. Those posts. Okay, let me grab my computer. All right. And, why is my, oh, it's the last one. Okay, just going to hit start. YouTube. Let's get rid of those hot girls. Are they talking to us? Alright, here we go. How do I get in here? Live. Because it's not showing in, oh, maybe I have to go into my studio. Your YouTube. This is where I struggle, ladies. Content. Dashboard. I don't know how to get rid of that. Let me go to A1. Your channel. Maybe this is it. Okay, here we go. Live now. Okay, I'm sorry, just ignore it. I do not know how to get rid of it. Let's go ahead and hoop up. Oh wait, before we hoop up, we've got to do our quilting stitch. So I'm just going to go ahead and touch in the, whoops, and you can see here, I didn't get the right one. I'm going to touch in there. Let's go to, that's forward, this is back. You can always hit your back buttons and you want to confirm you have the right stitch. I'm going to put my linen in here. Yes, we make kits. I'm thinking we need to hire a professional kit maker because we make a lot of kits. Because it just makes it easy, right? You don't have to. You can just grab a kit and be ready to stitch out, and it's fun, and you know it's going to look absolutely beautiful. So we do a lot of kits in the store, and we ship. And we are going to do the quilting stitch. And then we'll get ready and hoop up and do one last one. And then we're going to go on to the triangles corners. Do you have a Whimsy Winter bench pillow video? I do not. Whimsy Winter is one of those projects I've always wanted to do, and I just haven't had the time. But that one is cute. Okay, I missed something. You working and trying to listen to the video sometimes doesn't work. What are we getting rid of? Something or come in on the tail end. Oh, do you like the red better, Joanne? Is it like, is it more of a contrast? I bet it's pretty. Miss Green, I am not sure what we're getting rid of. I think we just fast forwarded to the quilting stitches. And once we're done with this, we're going to hoop up one last time. And we'll be done with the inner squares. And I'll show you how to press them out and trim them out. Then we're gonna start the triangles. I will probably film the outer borders. All right. Go ahead and let's hoop up one last time for these. I'm gonna pop up my hoop. I'm gonna go ahead and move this up. Make sure you have an equal amount on the right and the left. And if you're using muslin for this 6-inch hoops, the ones that are a 6-inch width, I cut my muslin 10.5 inches. I'm gonna pull it down just a little more. That's kind of my gauge, that I can see just a little bit of the fabric from the last embroidery, and gently pull inward. Don't pull up because you're just going to pull that inner hoop out. Pull inward gently. Don't distort your fabric. It should lay nice and flat. If it isn't laying flat, rehoop. Do it one more time. What is YW? Betty, I'm so not cool. I never know what any of those, like YW or like any of those, the acronyms, I never know what they mean. Okay. We are going to go back to stitch 0. That is placement for your batting. Go ahead and stitch that out. I still have my linen in. And while it's stitching out, I'm going to go ahead and spray my last set of batting and background fabric. If possible, I don't even see my 5x5. Here it is. I think... Oh, the spam chat. Oh, yeah. Did you not see that? Somebody posted something about hot girls. I have nothing against hot girls. But I went to get rid of it, and I don't know if I wasn't... You're welcome. Okay. That should be an easy one. I should be able to figure that out. All right, let me go ahead and place that in there. I'm also going to place my background fabric, and we're going to skip the next 2 steps. The red frame's much better. I know. I'm thinking of doing mine in purple. I bet purple would be so adorable too. If you haven't gotten a sweetie pie, let me call you Tweetheart kit, I'm going to do mine with that, like, the bluish green as my border. And I know some people are doing, like, the lavender, so if you want me to cut you a different color, I can. Okay, let's skip. We're going to skip this one. We're going to skip that one. We're going to do the orange. The orange is the tack down. So go ahead and do the orange, and then we are going to do the applique. So grab your last 4 pieces. Let's put it in our spray tent. Here we go again. Let me get this right here. Lay them down. Do you see this? Sometimes I just piece together my shape flex. That's another thing I hoard. And I'll just kind of put multiple pieces down. I don't do it if my fabric is light colored, because it'll shadow through and you don't want that. But if it's a darker color, then sometimes I'll just lay down multiple pieces and I'll just use everything up. Okay, we're skipping this next step. Next step is the quilting. We do not want that. We're going to go here. We're going to start doing the applique. Change your thread out and put your red or your taffy back in. If you're using red or lavender, I think lavender would be absolutely adorable. You could do all different colors. I hope that when you're done, you'll post your pictures to the A1 Facebook group, the Sew Along group, so everyone can see what you've gotten done. It's always nice to see. It's always nice to see when somebody does something different too, because you go, oh yeah, I could have done that. Like Miss Lynn, who always like jazzes it up. I always know when she posts something, it's going to be, instead of being a 10, it's going to be an 11. Okay, first piece we're going to lay down is going to be that wavy one. Oh, I know. I love it. I love this spray tent, but you can always have a spray box. Where's mine? I'll find mine later and show you. Okay, lay this down. And go ahead and stitch. Yeah, so we have that on the website. It's the dime spray tent. Just put dime spray tent and say Sew Along discount. And I will give you a discount off the product too. Some of those items I think are still up at like Christmas list pricing. Where are my handy dandy scissors? How do you lose things so quickly? I can't find them, so I'm going to use my 6-inch ones. 6 inches are just heftier. And more powerful. Oh, but you know what? I have one pair that doesn't work for me. Oh, here are my other ones. Patrick sharpened them, and they work perfectly for a right-handed person, but they don't work for my left hand. I need them to work for both. So Michelle was asking, because we sharpen scissors at the store, and she was like, can Patrick sharpen our scissors? I mean, we've had this store for how many years? I didn't even think about it. I was like, oh yeah, he should just get all the scissors together and give them to Patrick to sharpen. I don't know why my brain doesn't work sometimes. I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. All right, oh, you did that for me, Sharon. Okay, because I looked and it was gone. So thank you. I couldn't see it on my end. Okay, Miss Sandra, I'll get those sent out to you tomorrow. I'm actually going to go to this store tonight, so if I can get some stuff shipped out tonight, I'll send that to you. And I think we already have our next sew along scheduled. So the March one is going to be, I think it's like around the same time next month. So it'll be on a Monday. It's going to be from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock. We will end at 1. I don't know if I'll have a chance to go over just because the dogs are crated upstairs and I always feel bad. I went up there to find my computer and they got so excited. Poppy's in her crate. Momo, we just leave him out because he can be trusted. She cannot be trusted. I was thinking about bringing her down here. I don't know. I had a couple heart attack moments with Momo where it happened twice, where he would come in here and he would pull my pins out of my pincushion. And oh my goodness, just to see him with a pin in his mouth was like, I was so scared. Because I didn't want to run at him because I didn't want him to just swallow it. Oh my God, Diane, thank you. Do you ever sleep? Yeah, I sleep. I keep going, I'm going to get this done, and then I like fall asleep. I used to not sleep so much, but I don't know what it is. I'm just like tired. Linda, I have not gotten your point of press yet. I don't know where they are. I think I sent a note to my rep, and I'll let you know when I hear back. I sent her a note saying, where are my point presses? Did I order them? Are they on back order? And so I will let you know when I hear back. Yeah, come and visit. Don't expect too much from the store. We like to tell people we have a lived-in look. And hopefully it'll make you feel more comfortable. But yeah, it's we have a lot packed in because I cannot stop shopping too. I always tell people, because people always go, you need a bigger store, and I go, no, a bigger store means I would buy more, and because I'm like the blob, I will just fill whatever space you give me. There's like not an inch of empty space in my household. Like whatever space there is, whether it's my kitchen, my bedroom, my bathroom, I fill it to the limit. It's like I think is that like a personality disorder? I think I have a problem. I should meet with like Marie, what's the cute little Japanese gal that does that show? Because I try to do that, where she says, you like get the stuff you're going to get rid of it, you thank it, you say thank you, you brought me joy, and then you get rid of it. And I say thank you, you brought me joy, and I put it in a bag in my garage, but I never go the step where it leaves the garage. I go back into the garage, back into the bag, and I go, oh my God, why would I ever get rid of you? I need you. And then I bring it back in the house. And like for people that like they get rid of stuff so freely, I am so enamored by you and in awe, and I want to be like that. But look at me. Did you see how I like save little pieces of shape flex, and I save little pieces of batting, and they say a cluttered house is a cluttered mind. My mind is cluttered. Okay, trim it, stitch it, and then we have one more piece, and then we're going to get ready and do the other ones. Get ready with your other fabric to do the triangles, and like if you want, you can watch the first one. Maybe if we have time, we'll do 2 of them. Because I think I'm not even going to start the outer borders. I will just do those later. the other thing, Trish. I'm worried. I go, oh, what if, because isn't that the worst feeling when you get rid of something? So I got rid of, and I felt so good about it. I had, and this was such a splurge for me too. I bought it in like the 90s. I had a baby blue leather jacket, and it was so beautiful, but I just felt like I wasn't going to wear it, so I got rid of it. And then Michelle showed me all these projects that she did, and she goes and thrifts old leather jackets from Goodwill. And then Sage had made all these gorgeous necklaces, and she had made all the leather tassels from leather that she had thrifted at Goodwill. And so my heart was like in pain because I thought, I've never seen a beautiful baby blue leather jacket before, and I could have used, right? And so that brought my heart pain, which makes me go, I should never get rid of anything. Oh. There's no discount code when you go to do your and there's no discounts on the kits that we cut in this store, so there won't be any discount off of if you get some of the Cuties kits. There's no discount off of the Cuties kits, but there'll be a discount on your spray tent, there'll be a discount on your scissors, there'll be a discount on your hoop tightener, your spray, all of that stuff I'll discount. Just put in your notes when you go to check out, just say sew along discount, and I'll discount everything 15%. So it'll save you a little something. Just always put in your thing, give me a discount. And if I can, I'll give you a discount. I know. It all helps, right? And I know you have other options too. Like there's other places you can go and buy stuff, and we just really appreciate the business. All right, decorative stitch on this. We'll be done with the decorative stitching. We'll do the quilting, and then we will be done with the center squares with our deck of cards. Next thing we're going to do, if you grab your handy dandy spreadsheet, which I don't know where mine is anymore. Oh, here it is. When in doubt, look on the floor or behind your machine. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to do Sweet Talk. It's going to be on page 28, and there are your hoops that you can use. I did 5x7 and 8x12 in my last video. I'm going to do 6x10 and the 9.5x14 in this video. So let's go ahead. I'm going to grab my stabilizer. I think it's 15 inches. Is it? But you want your stabilizer? Let me see what I have here. Nine and a half by 14. Where are you? Okay. Go ahead and hit start. It's going to do the decorative stitching on around the very top block. I'm cutting my my muslin. Okay. If you're going to be using muslin for the 9.5 by 14, cut your strips 14.5 inches. I think that's like a good size. All right, we have to do our quilting stitch and then we're done with this. What's old today can be new tomorrow. Trish, you and I should never live together because I think we would have, the house would be like bursting at the seams. You know what I do is I am really thoughtful about like what I bring into that. Well, when it comes to like fabric and stuff like that, if I like it, I just get it. But when it comes to like a kitchen appliance or something like along those lines, I do go, okay, what am I going to get rid of? Because I really want I want an air fryer. But okay, I'm going to go to stitch 0. Why won't it let me do that? Knock knock. Why am I getting a knock knock? Let me just go touch. Oh, you know why? It's already at 0. So I'm just going to touch right in here. And I'm in my quilting stitches. Let's make sure. Okay, I went back to make sure I was at the very beginning of my quilting stitches because I could have been anywhere in here. I'm ready to go. So I want like an air fryer, but I want like an all-in-one so that I can get rid of something else. So I can either get rid of my one pot or I can get rid of my, I can get rid of my hot pot. Wait, what is it called? Your crock pot. So I just don't know what to get. And Patrick won't, he keeps saying no. But you know what? He can't tell me what to do. I'm going to get what I want. I just have to make sure I have room for it. We would have a yard full of those. I refuse to get a storage container. I just refuse. But maybe a pod. Because could you just buy one? I just refuse to store stuff somewhere. Yes, I think we would be trouble. This is okay, my mother-in-law, when Patrick and I got married, offered me turquoise. His grandmother, she was pretty much like a New York socialite, had all this turquoise and had given it to Patrick's mom. She didn't inherit it, and she offered it to me, but at the time, I didn't like turquoise. I was like, oh no, I would never wear any of that. And I don't even want to know what she had, because I think she just donated it to probably Goodwill or something. And it's just my heart hurts thinking about what kind of gorgeous turquoise was in her collection. Because now I love turquoise. Same thing with gold. I think I didn't like gold jewelry for a while, so I wouldn't know if I'd be like, oh no, I don't want any of that, wouldn't wear it. And now I love gold. So you're right. What is old is new again. And things that go out come back into style. Okay, we are done with these blocks. I'm going to go ahead and pop them out. Use my air fryer. Oh, you use it. So, but what can I, which one is the best all-in-one? And I just need to know which one to get. I think I need recommendations. So if you have one, write it in right now and tell me what I need. Because at some point, I just see so many great recipes. And I love fried food, but I know it's bad for me, so. Oh, look, I did have some of this. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this out. So this is my 9.5 by 14 inch hoop. I love this size. If you don't have it, you might have the 10.5 by 16 that you can use, or you can use the 8 by 12. So I'm going to go ahead and load this in here. You know what? I'm going to put in the big piece because I want to be able to do a triangle to a triangle to a triangle to a triangle. So I think I'll be more effective with my hoopings in this. I'm only going to lose a little bit at the top. All right, here we go. And like I said, I did this 14.5 inches. You could probably get away with 14 inches across. Yep, let me know which one you have. And so, Betty, I just didn't know which one to get because there's they have 5 different air fryers. I was thinking maybe I could get one that I could do air fryer and toaster, because then I could get rid of the toaster, because Patrick says we have to get rid of something. I think even 14 inches, you would have plenty if you did 14 inches. Okay, let's grab all our goodies for this. Here's my sleeve. Where's my sleeve that has my stuff in it? Sleeve, sleeve, sleeve. I'm the master. Oh, here it is on the ground. All right. So, what you should have for this is you are going to have, and I already sub-cut it. So, I figured out that what works best for me is your batting pieces, I think 10.5 inches. So, cut it 10.5 inch squares, sub-cut it down here so you have 4 pieces. And then, oh, look at this. I didn't sub-cut this yet. So these you should sub-cut too. So let's go to page 28. So you have 13 by 13 inch, can you see that? 13 by 13 inch pieces. We're going to go ahead and sub-cut those. Sub-cut each square to 2 triangles, so I'll go ahead and do that. Let me throw this over here and I can sub-cut those. And then you're going to have all your goodies in here. So you should have your fabric. Your fabric should all be stabilized with Shape Flex, so that I already have that on all of these. And then you're going to have pieces of vinyl. You're going to have a light purple. You're going to have a light pink, a peach. It's like an orangey peach. You're going to have a green, light green, and then you're going to have a clear. So there should be 6 pieces of those. And then you're going to have 5 different colors of these. And I think these are 3 inches by 3 inches. So let me go ahead and put that to the side. I didn't cut this down beforehand. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. I got to find those curved straight scissors. We're going to need those. All right. Let's go ahead and I'm going to use linen for my quilting. That's going to go with, this is called Coconut Cream, the fabric that I have here. Let's look at alignment. It says align the trimming guidelines shown in black right here, and right here of the block. Embroidery files with the fabric tack down lines. Important if using the 5x7 triangle quilting designs or the pre-quilting techniques described on page 44 for the design. I didn't do any of this. You know how it has you like fold all of that? I didn't do any of that when I laid it down. I don't think you really need to do that. We didn't do it last time and it was totally fine. I'm going to go ahead and slide this on. I have a mini one to start with. Yeah, so Anna gave me one. And I haven't even tried it yet. I should probably just try that one to start out with. All right. Come on over here and let's load our design in. I have big eaters in my family. I'm like, I think I need a big one. I need a big one. All right. KitchenAid. Should I get the KitchenAid one? Here we go. I'm going to go home. It's going to clear my screen. We are going to go Sweet Talk, and we're going to load our quilting design first, which is Triangle Heart February. Embroidery. And I'm going to go to my bottom USB, which is what I have it plugged into. Quilting bundle. And let's go Triangle Heart. So here's Triangle Centers and Triangle February. It's what you want, and you have all of these different options. I'm going to do 8x14. If you don't have an 8x14, you're just going to do an 8x12. Not a big deal at all. And I'm going to go ahead and set that. Let's pick our hoop size too. So I'm going to go up here to my settings, and I'm going to go 9.5 by 14. That's going to give us our embroidery field, and you can see I can just go ahead and I can move this over here. So finger for placement, arrows for precision placement. And say okay. And let's go embroider. Oh wait, I gotta add my other design. So let's go ahead and hit return. Return takes you to the previous screen, not a big deal. We're gonna go ahead and touch add, and let's add our design. And lower USB and Cuties, that's where I have my designs, and I'm PES. And don't put all the designs on, it just bogs everything down. We're doing conversation hearts, so they're right here. And we'll go ahead and set it. And then we're gonna just line up our designs. So we're gonna line up those black marks. So let's kind of zoom in here a little bit, or let's get you a little bit closer. I'm going to use my move arrows because what I don't want is I don't want to accidentally move the quilting design underneath. So I'm going to go edit, move. Whoop. And that looks good. So do you see my my black lines are lined up with the outer straight lines on the top and the bottom, and then this is going to be almost over to the left. I guess I could move it over one more if I wanted. So either way, you're either going to be right on the line here or right on the line there, and we should be good to go. Okay. If you have your batting the size I have in your background fabric, you shouldn't have to do all of this folding and flipping, so I don't want you to worry about that. I'm just going to go ahead and touch OK on the very bottom. And we're going to touch embroidery. Let me get this off of my hoop. And first thing it wants to do is it wants to do a placement stitch for your batting. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit start. I have linen is still in there. And while it's doing that, I'm going to cut my background fabric in half. All right, these are going to be larger. I think they still fit in my spray tent, but sometimes if I have larger pieces, I use my handy dandy spray box. All right, don't have a heart attack when you see it because it is, I've used the same spray box for 8 years. So imagine all the spraying I've done in it. Here we go, look at that. I always tell people it reminds me of 40-year-old virgin, because it has like those sections, because sometimes I'll like grab it and I'll just like pick up pieces of it. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this in here. And again, I'm going to do nubby side up so I can spray that and put it down. And then here is one of my background pieces. That's like still one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. Let me do this. Okay, let's go ahead and lay this piece down first. And this is going to be bigger. So guess what? We are going to do the placement and the tack down for the batting. I think it would be too hard to like trim it to this and just make sure everything fit perfectly. So it is going to be bigger than what you have down there. And we are going to be doing the tack down and we are going to be trimming. But there's just, you know, I think it's too hard to get it to just fit in there perfectly, but you can measure it and then cut your piece to fit in there perfectly. Mine is going to need to be trimmed, so I'm doing the first step and I'm doing the second step. can trim that. I have my double curved, my 6-inch double curved scissors. And you want to trim it close to the stitch. And my squares, I want to say from memory, I cut them 10.5 by 10.5. Is that right? Something like that. Now, if they're not curved, they poke into the batting more, I feel like. So this will, it's even here. Sometimes they go into the batting a little bit. But if they're like curved straight, then you're really like battling with the tips of it going into your batting. Okay, then it's going to want you to do placement stitch for your background fabric. I'm just, mine sprayed, I'm just going to lay it down. I'll do the tack down though. And you're going to want to do your quilting stitch before you do all the applique with this. So with the centerpieces, you do the quilting last, but with these, you're going to do the quilting because you don't want it to go all over that cute, your cute little conversation hearts. Pull this back and make sure you lay it down on the right side. Just get your tip kind of in line with the tip right here and leave yourself some room. Well, that's a lot of fabric, huh? It's a lot of fabric. Okay, I'm just going to kind of push it down. I have my linen in there already, but let's look at everything, make sure we're doing what we should be doing. So they recommend, I think, linen for the quilting. And we are just going to go ahead and do we're going to do the tack down first, and then we'll do the quilting, and then we'll start the embroidery. So lay that down. How we doing, ladies? Everyone good? Here's our first triangle. We're probably going to just do this one. And tickle your fabric to the edge, or just give it a little push over. Just don't want it to get a pucker or have it not lay flat. And then what you see in teal on your screen, that's going to be your quilting stitch. Oh, actually, you know what? I just did the placement, and then now it wants to tack down, but I already had my fabric down. So it goes one on top of the other, so I'm just going to skip the next step. If you, the orange would have been the tack down. So I'm skipping the tack down because I use the placement as my tack down. So I'm just going to fast forward. There's my quilting stitch. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Let's go back. Where am I? I'm like all out of sorts. Okay. There we go. There's my quilting stitch. Got trigger happy there. Go ahead and just start stitching. Let it do the quilting stitches, and then we're going to start doing some applique. Why don't you go ahead and grab one of each color. So you're going to grab one. That's called Muse. I can't remember what that one's called. So grab one of each. And get your spray tent and just give it a little shot of spray. Looks like I'm running out of bobbin thread. So when I run out of bobbin thread, I hit the cut button. So you're going to hit your little cut button. going to slide them back. Let's go ahead and change out the bobbin. And, you know, I don't mess with this. I just throw it away because sometimes it, like, gets stuck. And when it tells me it's done, I just toss it. And I don't reuse those bobbins. I want to say for probably, like, 5 or 6 years, I did reuse them. And I probably have some of them in my collection that are just, like, the leftover bobbins. However, they're kind of like the cheapest bobbins. If you notice, they'll kind of get cloudy and they might splinter a little bit. So I just get rid of them at this point. Can you believe that? Of all people, I actually get rid of those. But I went to a training. I'm going to go back 10 stitches. I went to a training with Nikki Brazel, and she said to get rid of them, that they were like the nastiest, cheapest bobbins. It's up to you. Okay, let's finish up the quilting stitches. I'm going to take those other pieces, and I'm going to give them a spray in my spray tent. Laid them right side down. I'm so excited about this one. Alright, let's read the directions. Load the embroidery file into the machine. Stitch the placement template. Color does not make a difference. So when we do the placement template, I'm just going to use my linen in there. Align the fold. We're going to skip that because the background we did all of this. So we don't need to do any of this. We actually don't need to do this because we did this. So we're going to skip steps 1 and 2. And then we're going to go straight to step 3. So once we're done with this, because we have all of ours already laid down. Is that just adorable? I keep telling myself, I'm like, I am not going to keep buying these quilting stitches, but look at them. They're so cute. At some point, though, we're going to just start using what we have in our stash. I'm going to start using what I have in my stash. Okay, after the quilting, it heads into your embroidery steps. And there's that placement for your background. We've done all of that, so I'm going to skip that. This step, I'm going to skip this step too. And I'm going to do this step right here. That is going to be for our first heart. And it is calling for taffy. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my taffy. That's that pink that we were using before. How are we doing, ladies? Everyone good? No worries. You can show up anytime you want, Shannon. Because you can watch the video later. Nice to see you. Let's go ahead. Okay, first thing it wants is it wants the placement line. Just go ahead and hit start. My fabric is already sprayed. We are going to grab our, it looks like we're grabbing the light pink piece of fabric. And I'm curious, could we, is this one trim close? Could you fit 2 hearts? Like, can you do half of this and then do the other one? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try and see what you get. I'm just trying it. You have this big old piece, so you can put it right in the very middle. But I'm going to see if it fits on this. Oh, I think it will. Okay, so if you got a kit and you want to stretch your kit, you could use that one piece for 2 hearts. That was step number 4. That was the tack down. Now we're going to trim close to the stitch. Where are my scissors? Here they are. Get you out of the way. I'm going to pull it out so I can do the round edges. But you don't have to. You could just lay that heart down right in the middle. I was just kind of seeing what was possible. Let's see. Does that fit? Yeah, you could do it no problem. You have to be just mindful of how you lay it down. Okay, that one is down, and the next step, stitch the heart one decorative outline. So I'm going to just go ahead and hit start, let it do the decorative outline. Where do we do our vinyl? Let me look. All right, in the end, we'll do all the vinyl pieces. And I think you're going to have tons of vinyl, because the vinyl pieces I cut were 6x6, so I think you'll have lots of vinyl left over. See, trim the vinyl as desired. That's when, for me, I would use my curved straight scissors. So while it's stitching some of this, I'm going to go on a scissor hunt to see where those are. And I don't know where they are, and we're going to need them. All right, next heart is going to be, let's see, it looks like it's going to be the green one. So the color I chose, because I thought it was the best match, was I chose mint julep, because they have a bunch of different mints. So I'm going to use that one. But you know, you can use whichever one you want. One with a little more contrast might be nice too. So if I'm not going to use mint julep, where's my glide thread? I think my next option would be, let's see, I'm going to grab these. I always love Tidewater. I think that's too dark. This one would, pistachio. Here's Magic Mint, which I think is too blue. But pistachio could be really nice too, but I'm just going to do Magic Mint. That's what or mint julep. Mint julep is what I'm using. Whoops. Threw it in the bin. Mint julep. Shannon, California road trip was great. Sometimes I forget there's a life outside of A1. So it's always good for me to leave because it gives me perspective. It reminds me that there's other things other than sewing. We ate really good food. So we love ethnic food, and for me, I just really look forward to, like, San Mateo had awesome food. We went to like a great dumpling house. One of the boys I took loves Mexican, so we went and got some really good Mexican food. And again, you don't have to conserve your fabric like I am, but if you want to, you should have plenty to do too, as long as you bump it up. Whoops, slide on my hoop. So, and then it was so much fun hanging out with two teenage boys, because I'm not around them that often, and just listening to them talk and talk about stuff and like music that they like. It's just fun being like a fly on the wall with the boys. It's like, they're like interesting. It's fun when kids become interesting and they have their own ideas and they're, you know. I'm gonna miss it. Am I gonna be so depressed when the kids go away next year? If you don't know me, I have 17-year-old twins. So they're seniors this year and they're gonna be going to college next year. I'm a little bit worried. I work a lot, so I'm hoping that I'm not gonna just be sitting around sulking. But I think it's going to be really hard walking by their empty rooms. Like, it makes me want to cry right now. Because, you know, I get home and it's fun talking with them and hearing how their day was. And so I'm a little worried about being an empty nester. Never been to Reno, didn't realize your driving was a lot. So, yeah, for people that have never been to Reno, number one question I think we get from out-of-towners is, like, how close are you to Vegas? And we're far from Vegas. Like, I grew up in Connecticut, and, like, you could drive, like, 4 hours and get from Maine through Massachusetts, through Connecticut, into New York. It was, like, that fast. So it takes us for us to drive from Reno to Vegas is like 7.5 hours. I am closer to San Francisco than I am to Vegas. I'm 2 hours from Sacramento and I'm about 3.5 hours from San Francisco. Next heart we're going to do is the yellow one. And the thread color that I'm going to be using is going to be, I'm going to use buttermilk. Can you see that? Let me see. Buttermilk. Reno, I think, is the best kept secret. I absolutely love Reno. Oh, man. I don't want to hear that. The single empty nester. You know what, Shannon? I heard that, too. I heard that, it's hard the first month, and then after that, it's like, it's fine. It's great. And I'm hoping the kids will be semi-close, that they'll stay West Coast. Although Violet is applying to some East Coast schools. And then we'll just have to go and visit them. That's going to be hard if she's really far away. Kai's going to stick to, I'm hoping he'll end up in Utah. But he's applying to schools in Montana and Utah, and then UNR, right here. Our local college, local university. Okay, we're going to do placement for the yellow flower, the mustard color. I mean, not flower, but heart. Mine are already sprayed, so I'm just grabbing them and laying them down. I know when I left, because I have 2 older brothers and I'm the baby, I know when I left, my mom had a really tough time. And I didn't even think about that. That's how, like, egocentric, I think, like, teenage. I didn't even consider that was going to be hard for my mom. She never complained or said anything. Not Billings, but he's applying, is it Montana State or University of Montana? The one in Bozeman. And he's already gotten in. But I am personally hoping that he goes to Utah because he's going to be closer and we can just drive to go see him. And plus, ladies, don't know if you know this, but there is a Sundance outlet in you know me, I love Sundance catalog, and they have an outlet in Salt Lake City. And that's, I know some people say like Disney is like their favorite place on earth. My favorite place on earth is the Sundance outlet. I've just gotten so many great deals there. It's so much fun. So when we go to Salt Lake, we usually go in the winter. And so the whole family goes skiing. They usually go skiing, and I go to the Sundance outlet. And that's like the best day for me. Yeah, Kai wants to be, the schools he applied to were based on the fact that he wants to be able to go to school, but he also wants to be able to ski and mountain bike and climb. And that's why those are, like, for us, this area is great for him because it's, Tahoe, Reno, Tahoe. And then Salt Lake has everything. He can go ski and climb and mountain bike, and so does Montana. And it's so beautiful. If you've never been to Montana, folks, like, that is God's country. It is amazing. Okay, after this one, we are going to do the Purple Heart. So for the Purple Heart, I pulled out, this is mulberry. And like I said, I don't carry glide thread in the store just because we carry Isocord and we just don't have room to carry 2 lines. However, if there's any colors that you want, I can always special order them for you. We can do them at your sew along discount, which is 15%. You just have to send me a note. I do not have the colors listed on the website, so you'd have to email me. So just email me, Jeannie, A1Sew@gmail.com. Grab your purple fabric. Where are those other scissors? Found them. I'm going to go ahead and lay this down again. I don't know why I'm doing this because I don't think I'm going to do this again. I guess it's just I'm challenging myself. But you should have enough where you could do, you could use the kit if you're using the kit. Ooh, that was close. To do 2 sets. And you might have enough of the other fabric too, depending on how you lay it down. This Shape Flex Pellon 101 is one of those things that you should get by the bolt. It's just so useful. You can use it in so many different projects. You can use it in your sewing. You can use it in your embroidery. Just anytime you need a little bit more stabilizer, more your fabric to have more body. I panic when I don't have it at home. I panic when I don't have that, and I panic when I don't have muslin. Okay, do your decorative stitching, and then the last heart we're going to lay down is going to be this one. I don't know if that's like a peachy tangerine. I didn't have a good glide color to match that. So I had this. This is Isacord. It's color 1352, which I thought was pretty good. That might add some good contrast. And this one I think is like the same color, so I don't think I'm going to use this, but this is Isacord 1362. And then I have Marathon Thread, which I absolutely love. This one, which is really plus. I'm going to use this one. So this one is Isacord 1352. I don't know why it has a J on it, but it does. Hi, Miss Irene. I know. You know what? That's why that does never work in your favor. That's why you use the whole piece. I don't know why I'm playing around with this right now. I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna throw these in the trash. I'm not gonna use these again. So the next one, I'm just gonna lay it right down in the middle. Did I spray this? It's like barely sticking. I'm gonna give it another shot. How do you get your Shape Flex to stick? Okay, number one, I find that my Shape Flex, you've got to use some kind of moisture to get it to really stick. So I usually either use Best Press because that's what's in my bottle, or it's like I normally don't use steam on my iron, but I'll use steam when I'm putting down my Shape Flex. So, and I will press it, I'll press it down on both sides. And I think it's just like holding it down long enough. So be careful for like getting puckering. Don't like don't start like on the outside and iron in, like work in the middle and iron out, work in the middle and iron up and down. But okay, this is my color. Is this too? I'm gonna use this. It's cute. It'll be fine. Is it too peach? Is it too orange? Maybe it's too orange. Okay, I'm gonna do this one just in case it's too orange. So moisture, I think that's going to be the trick. How about everyone else? What? Because I find sometimes my pieces aren't adhered. So it's just going to be a matter of pressing it long enough. And hot. You want your iron nice and hot too. So have your iron be hot. Use some moisture and hold your iron down long enough. Okay. Any other hints, ladies? What do you do to get your Shape Flex to stick? And mine doesn't stick on the edges sometimes. I'll go back in and I will press it twice. Hi, Momo. Okay, Momo, Mommy's coming up soon. I think that's his way of going, Mom, we need you. I'm going to come up. Yeah, there's really no reason to do it right on the edge unless you're trying to use it for more than one table topper. Other than that, just lay it right down in the middle. Why put yourself through that? Okay, I think it's going to be, I haven't read all the instructions yet, but I think it's going to be vinyl time. Uh-oh. I hear the baby crying. Oh, little Violet's here. I didn't even know she was still here. Violet is a very good puppy mom. All right. She's better than me. I think I'm more of the grandmother puppy mom that lets their dog do more than they should. Violet's stricter than I am. Oh, yeah. They've been waiting, right, Sue? They're like, it's time. Give me some love. Okay, so this step right here this is step number 17. We're stitching the heart decorative stitch. It's right here, what you see here. Next step, and it's asking for red, is stitch U plus me. So this is going to be the lettering inside of the heart. I'm thinking that I'm going to use my 60 weight thread, depending on how thin it is. Let me go back and look at the picture. because what you don't want is you don't want it to look clumpy. So 60 weight thread is going to let you have it. It's going to be more defined. It's good for if you're doing small print, if you're doing any detail. The first time I went, oh my goodness, I really need that thinner thread is when I was doing a Disney princess quilt, and it was the eyelashes on the princesses, and it, like my regular 40 weight thread, that's the weight of your thread that you're using right now. The regular 40 weight looked like they had really clumpy mascara, and then when I did the 60 weight thread, it was like so beautiful and fine and detailed. So I'm going to grab my 60 weight thread. Where's my red? What we carry in the stores, we carry fine line. And as you go up in numbers, so like with needles, as you go up in numbers, the thread gets, with needles, as you go up in the number, the needle gets thicker. Thread is the opposite. As you go up in number, the thread gets finer. So a 60 weight thread is finer than a 40 weight, and 80 weight is finer than a 60. Like 100 weight is super, super thin. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in my red bobbin right now. May I ask what color you used for the third heart? So I used Isocord because I didn't have Glide, and I used 13. Oh wait, the third heart. Third heart. Which one was the third heart? The purple? The purple heart, I use Mulberry, and it's 40528, Mulberry, and that was Glide. Let me get my red bobbin. I used Glide for all of them except for the very last one because I didn't have that color. I used an Isocord. I love both of those threads. Okay, let me slide back on. And I'm just going to hit start. Look how good that looks. This is going to be a perfect time to use those perfect point scissors to trim those jump threads. I'll trim them with the side hoppers and with the perfect point scissors. We'll do both. The perfect point are OESD. The side hoppers are just side hoppers. I don't know who makes those. Oh, look at that. So the actual instructions Joanne is telling us, it says cover with a damp cloth and hold for 10 to 15 seconds. Imagine that. They actually have instructions. Oh, so cute. Yeah, so moisture. And then I guess the length of holding down the iron is going to make a difference. And the damp cloth sounds perfect. Okay, once you're done with these, we're going to go ahead and trim because we're going to put vinyl down on top. So you're going to need to trim those jump threads before we put the vinyl down. Stitch the Heart 1 vinyl tack down line and trim the vinyl as desired. So we're going to have to get all those colored threads back out too because we're going to be doing placement. Honestly, I don't think you need the placement. I think you know exactly where the vinyl's going to go. So for me, I'm going to skip those. Does it have Stitch the Heart 1 vinyl? Oh no, wait. Oh yeah, there's only tack downs. There's no placement. Sometimes my mind makes up what it thinks it should say. but we are going to want to trim those jump threads before the vinyl goes down. Can you imagine all those jump threads and then they're trapped under there? I wouldn't like that. Would not like that at all. Where did I put those scissors? Where are they? Here they are. Do you iron your shape flex with your fabric face? I usually iron my fabric, like my shape flex going up and my fabric going down, and then I press it again with my shape flex on the top side. So I usually iron my fabric onto my shape flex, and then I don't iron it well. It's just kind of adhered a little bit just to hold it. And then I flip it and I iron it one more time, and that's when I get it down perfectly. I'm almost done. Okay, now it's time to put down all that vinyl, but before we do that, we are going to trim out all of these. So I'm going to take the little hook and I'm going to scoop it underneath one side, give it a trim, and then I'm going to flip it the other direction and just do the other. Okay, so you can either do that or same thing. You're going to have two, I call these little feet. And I think the right foot is small. I don't know if one foot is smaller than the other. I'm going to put the right foot under. So you put the foot underneath your thread. Can you even see? I think my hand's in the way. But you want to do all of these. I'm going to go ahead and trim one side, and then if you have enough thread, you can kind of hold it down and trim the other side. You know what? They're both great. You just might have to snip more than one time.
Stay.
Okay, let me get under there.
No.
Sorry, there's Violet. She's getting the dogs back in. One foot under to one side, and then the other side. I find with these, I just have to give them a couple of trims. Well, with both of them. It's hard to get it. I'm going to take a flat, gives you the best cut. I know somebody else used, they used their tweezers to help grab their fabric too, or grab those threads. Oop, don't get your fabric. Kind of get sewn down. Go into your happy place. Just get into your, you can put some music on. Oh man. Okay. Those are just... You know, if you hear heavy breathing, it's usually me, but it might be the dogs. Usually when it's me, I'm just relaxed. Like something like this would make me heavy breathe. close enough? Are you able to watch? I haven't looked at comments. Do you iron? So you're ironing on the shape flex. I iron, and I don't think there's a right or a wrong way, right? So I normally iron the shape flex, the fabric to the shape flex, because I am does this piece come all the way out? Because I usually lay all my background pieces that are cut down on my uncut shape flex, and then I cut my shape flex apart. So I'm sure there's times where I iron my shape flex down to my fabric. I don't think I'm a purist one way or the other. Cutie pie. I think, you know why I like using these? I find it easier to get the hook underneath the thread than the little foot. I feel like the result, the end result, is pretty much the same. But that hook, that little hooked end, just, I think it's easier for me to get it under. This will be probably the most time-consuming part of our sew-along. Thread left there. Cutie. Where are my feet? Where are my feet? Let's try this. I think I got it all. What do you think? Is this a thread? Okay, I'm going to take a little piece of tape and I'm going to pat it down. Make sure I got all the ickies up. Uh-oh, I lost my Facebook feed. Oh, you know what? IT guy is not here. I'm so sorry. You know, and I don't know if it has anything to do with, they have a 3-hour limit, so maybe it just ended. So, yeah, I'm going to have you just hop on. If IT guy was here, I would be yelling for him right now. But just go to YouTube. Because I don't know how he did that. Okay. Now what it wants you to do is it stitch the Heart 1 vinyl tack down line. It wants the taffy. Heart 1 is going to be that pink one, so we're going to grab our pink thread. I'm going to change out my bobbin too. So I'm going to put my white one back in. It's back. Okay, perfect. Yay, it fixed itself! Because I don't know what to do. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have like somebody that was, I guess I would hire like an IT person, right? Luckily, I married one. He's very tech savvy. Okay, let me grab my vinyl. You want to make sure it's clean, that it's not dusty as we do this. Where's my taffy? Where'd you go, taffy? Oh, here it is. And I'm just going to do the very corner. You want to make sure you're covering the whole thing. And you're grabbing the light pink. Don't get them confused because there is like a purple and then there's like a lighter pink. And then there's a peach. So grab the one that's like the lighter pink. I know it looks almost purpley pink. And we are going to trim this as desired. So I'm going to just kind of put it right on here. And you want it to have like a little bit of overhang. So I have like what? Like 1/8 of an inch around it. Something like that. Go ahead. I'm just going to hold it down. You could tape it if you wanted. Once it starts stitching, it should just kind of stay in place. But give yourself a little bit of an outer edge. How cute does that look? Looks super cute. And then we are going to be using the curved straight to trim around it. Otherwise, if you use the curves, it kind of like, I don't want to say scallop, but it is almost impossible to just get that nice stitch or the nice cut that you want. I am going to use my dominant cutting hand for this because I want this to be cut really nicely. And it says trim as desired. So I'm going to leave a little bit of an edge around this. Let me see, I'm going to hold it right here. And just a little bit of an edge is going to be nice. I'm going to go right to the edge of the decorative stitch, but not to where the stitching was. You could make it a little bit wider. I don't know. I like it like right here. You see that? I guess if this was like something you were going to be throwing in the laundry and cleaning a lot, I don't know if I would I think the vinyl would just wash fine, but I might forego the vinyl. I mean, it's meant for crafts and everything, the vinyl, so I think it would be fine. How cute does that look? Okay, now we're just going to do the green. So grab your green. Brush him off. Make sure he's not dirty. I'm just going to grab that one corner and lay it down. We got to change out our upper thread. I'm going to order the curve straight. Like I had the curve straight because I bought the Formore scissor set. So there's a Formore scissor set. So I ordered the Formore scissor set. I don't think I even have anything in here. I just pulled everything out. Oh, look. Because I already had a pair of these. Just make sure they're the ones that have the curve straight in it, and that's what I ordered. So I had a pair of curve straight in my collection for probably a couple of years before I ever used them, because I was so into curved that I thought those were like the best, and I didn't need anything else. And then I don't know what happened. I just used them one day for something that said cut as trim as desired, and I was like, these are so much better. Like I needed these. Like this makes it so much easier to cut. And anyhow, so now I feel like I couldn't live without both of them. But if I'm doing something where I want to stitch right to, I want to stitch or trim right to the stitch, then I use my, I definitely use my, my curved. I feel like that's going to get you closer. Of the flat little scissors. So there's either going to be curved, or there's curved straight. Let me see. I mean, you could go right to the stitch with this too. The curved straight are the ones that I use when I want a little bit of an edge. And I feel like it just looks really cute when you have a little bit of an edge sometimes. But I don't know if this would matter. You could just go straight on curved. But there's some times where you really see it. But this vinyl this is really cute. You need to use the vinyl. I feel like it makes it. All right. I can't remember the part number, but they're all Formore. If you go onto the site and just type in Formore, this one's going to be the clear. So grab your clear. Brush it off. Make sure there's nothing icky on it. Make sure you're a little bit outside of that stitch area. Oh, hang on. Change out your thread. I'm going to put that. I'm putting in buttermilk. I'll show you again if you want to see the difference. Yep, let me go ahead and put this in and I'll show you the two scissors. And like I said, I just use my curved all the time. And I had those curved straight because they came in the kit. And I didn't know they were so, I didn't know why they would be better. And then when I started using them, I was like, oh, that makes a difference. Okay, here is curved straight. Here is curved. So this one's going to have a tip that curves up on the end, and this one's going to go straight across. That makes it easier to cut when you're doing something that says cut as desired. These are going to make it easier to cut right to the stitch. And it makes it so it doesn't like poke into your fabric or batting or whatever you're using. Curved straight, where are you? So this I'm kind of cutting a little bit away from the stitch. Kind of cutting to the edge of the decorative stitch line. But I don't think it would make a difference. You could cut right to the stitch if you wanted with these. You could have it hang over this stitch too. If you want to have like a nice beefy edge of vinyl. Perfect. Next one is the purple. Go ahead and put in your mulberry thread. Grab your purple vinyl. Some of this vinyl is just the vinyl that's from Kimberbell. They have their, I forget what it's called. Is it their... I forget. They have two vinyl collections, and then the other one I order from a place called, I think it's called Big Z Fabrics. So if you're looking for vinyl, you can always email me. Kimberbell was the only place I could find the peach, the purple, and the pink. I could not get those shades anywhere else. And I usually try to use all the Kimberbell products anyways. I went with 40 weight red, looks fine, but I think the 60 weight looks better. Yeah, it just, I don't know, I'm going to have to see what, you're going to have to show me what your 40 weight looks like, but if it's fine stitching like this, I really think the 60 weight, and we carry that, I think that's on the website, so if you look up just Fine Line, and it is a Dime product, and Dime is Dime Embroidery. They're the ones that make snap hoops, but they have exquisite thread, and that's what we carry in the store. And there's other makers. I always tell people, you don't have to buy the most expensive. Don't buy the cheapest. Cute. Last one. Put in whatever thread you're using for that like kind of peachy orange color. I'm using Isacord 1362. I wish they had the names on these two, on the Isacord. 1362. I will find the equivalent glide one for the next project. I bet plain, you could, you know what, Joanne? You are absolutely right. You could totally use just, I mean, if I just put plain over all of them, that would be amazing. Joanne, you are so smart. I didn't even think of that. But it looks so good just with the fabric. So just having it be a little shiny is fun. And you could totally have just used plain. Or, yeah, the clear. Where and what color did you, so if you ever wanted to buy vinyl, but they're limited, they're really, I could not find any source that had the Kimberbell colors, because sometimes you'd want to buy like bigger pieces. I could not find any other source than Kimberbell. And I love their vinyl, and the colors are so pretty. The place that I ordered from that I really, really liked, I want to say they were called Fabric Z, or Z Fabrics, and they have a lot of specialty fabrics, so they're kind of fun to order from. But the only colors that I could order that kind of matched were the green and the clear. I've ordered and there was another place that I ordered from, and I ordered the pink and the peach, and they were way too bright. It was just too much. So my recommendation, if you want to make more, is to just buy the vinyl from Kimberbell. And we carry that in the store. So cute. And I think we're going to do there's going to be some trim lines. Let me look at the instructions. We have all our vinyl down. That was step number, what step was that, ladies? Step number 22, 23. Stitch the trimming guidelines. Color doesn't make a difference. I have that kind of orange in there, which I'll be able to see. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit start. And these are going to be your lines for trimming. And we are done with this one. I'm not going to film the other ones because you know exactly what it's going to look like anyways. But I will film the outer borders. I'm not going to do it today because I have a couple other projects that need to get done. But hopefully I can do it this weekend. Or in the evenings. I think I'm going to be working late a lot of evenings this week just catching up. Before you trim, you're going to press, and I will do all of that in the video. I'll do a video where I do all the pressing, all the trimming, sewing it all together, and probably adding the binding, which I'm always like, I'm not going to do that. And then I just film it because I'm doing it anyways. We are done. So that is going to be one of our outer triangle borders. All that you have left to do is finish up 3 of these, the outer borders, and then kind of stitching it all together. Hope you had fun today. I'm going to skedoodle, whatever it's called. And I will see you with some other videos that I will be filming this week. And I think the next thing that we'll have as a sew-along is going to be Tweetheart at the end of the month. And I'll let you know when that's going to be. Have a great day, ladies. Be creative. Make something awesome. And I will see you on the live feed tomorrow from the store.